perfect autumn evening at Midland Community Stadium. I'm Dale Robbins along with Randy Boynton and Blair Patty, and we have got an absolutely splendid evening to do a number of things all at once here at Midland Community Stadium. 8,000 plus are the expected arrival by the time this one gets going. We're going to have about 450 students that will be involved in pregame, halftime, and post-game festivities between what's going on, and oh yeah, a football game to boot. The 8-0 Midland Chemics now closing in on, they've had an undefeated season in their history. It was way back in '94, 9 years ago, Randy. They went undefeated. They were also, in 1999, they were co-champions of the Saginaw Valley League. They are closing in on both of those marks again in one night here, and it's the conclusion of a 9-week schedule against crosstown foes, Dow High Chargers. Dow High Chargers are 5-3. They are 5-3 in the Valley. They need a win to guarantee themselves a playoff berth. A loss tonight, their season literally could be done, and a loss to the Midland Chemics gives the Midland Chemics a driver's seat for the first couple of rounds of the playoffs that will be done after this weekend's games, and tonight's games are in conclusion. Guys, this has a lot of stuff going on inside it. There are stories within the stories within the stories and what's at stake, but both coaches believe it's simply the football game that's been this week's preparation. Randy Boynton.
Well, Midland High to have an undefeated season is just great, especially if you look at all the schedules and stuff and how tough the Saginaw Valley's been. You know, they got 6 teams out of 10 that possibly could make it to the playoffs. They all knocked each other off. You know, you got a handful at 5-4, and Midland High has done it with with a whole team concept. You know, they got a couple kids out there. You know, the Parson brothers are pretty big and stuff, but they change.
Let's take a look at this, Randy, and you're exactly right. There are some stories within that. The Dow Chargers, under first-year coach Kurt Faust. Blair, he's got some football history behind him. Of course, he was a 6-year assistant under Frank Althmore at Dow High. Offense is the key for Dow as we see them take the field. Take a look at Midland High. Their game is different. It's special teams and defense.
It sure is, Dale. And when you look at the Chemics, obviously Midland has always had a very strong tradition for defense. And they come into tonight's game as the number 2 defense in the Saginaw Valley League, number 1 against the rush, but they are number 9 against the pass, whereas the Chargers on the offensive end coming in against the pass, they're number 2 with the pass on offense and number 2 with the run. So offensively, if the Chargers can get Parmalee going, that opens up their passing game. That'll make it tough for the Chemics. But Midland, as I said, the number 2 defensive team in the league, coming in, allowing the fewest amount of points in the league this year. And when you get these two teams together, you can throw the records out, you can throw the previous weeks out, because it really comes down to 2 crosstown rivals, and the coaches will say it's not a rival, it's just another game of 1 of 9. But these teams are going to be ready to do battle here today. You're going to have the number 1 scoring offense with the Dow Chargers against the number 1 scoring preventing defense of the Midland High. And something's got to give. And what's got to give, I think, is the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. Penalties or turnovers is going to be the one that comes out ahead here tonight.
And what's real interesting in having conversation with both coaches and watching the media over the last week, they've been trying to take all of this extra that's gone on, the thousands of people that will be at tonight's game. They had a tailgate party sponsored by one of our local faith organizations that began at 5 o'clock. Midland and Dow were welcome. It's a community event that carries a lot of tales. It's almost like the second homecoming of each season for both of these teams as this community gets itself back together. But what we're looking at, I think Blair hit on it, you got the one of the number 1 offenses in the Valley taking on a stingy defense, only allowed 66 points with the exception of Saginaw High's late spurt a weekend ago. That's 6 points a game, Randy. Coach Wilczek was allowing with that defense of the Midland Chemics this year.
And they do the same thing. They have their grubs. And one thing I have seen them change a little bit more this year is that they changed their defensive linemen a little bit more after they're out there 5-6 plays. They'll bring in a whole new 4, and they don't really lose a beat with these kids. And they change them. They seem to be real fresh. In a couple games, they've come back and really stuffed the teams in the fourth quarter, and I believe that's because they've used more kids throughout the game and kept them fresh, so that they really have, and they are stingy. And they got some kids that run to the ball. I mean, they run hard to the ball. I mean, every play that you'll see that there'll be 3, 4, 5, 6 kids around the ball carrier all the time.
Well, waiting is the patience game. The home team tonight, the HH Dow Chargers, been on the field about 3.5, 4 minutes. The visiting team tonight, the Midland Chemics, 8-0, made them patiently wait on home side field. And here, folks, come the undefeated 2003 Midland Chemics.
Dale, and you see there's a lot of excitement. The Chemics come out with a lot of excitement. It's just like the Chargers came out with a lot of excitement. And as we get this thing rolling here tonight, I think you can look at the offense at two different perspectives on offense here. The Chargers are really strong on the run side with Jalen Parmalee. Last year, over 12,000 yards, or 1,200 yards. This year, over 1,200 yards. He is their primary go-to guy. Midland, on the other hand, with the rushing side of the ball, they'll spread things around. But what they have had lately is they've had a young sophomore, Jimmy Parsons, step up, who's really starting to carry the load for them in the offensive backfield. So the rushing game for Midland, they'll spread it around. The rushing game for the Chargers, it's going to be Parmalee. So defensively for Midland, you got to stop Parmalee first. Defensively for the Chargers, you've got to prevent the big play because you really don't have that one person to key on.
Right.
And it's going to be a dandy of a ball game here tonight, Randy.
Yes, and Parmalee, it's just, he's got 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns for the year. Out of eight games, he's got 21 touchdowns.
Well, what amazes me as well, and what's been able to let Jalen take a little pressure off himself and actually be creative, is the addition of Corey Castle, the senior quarterback. He's come in and learned a new system under Coach Faust. Coach Faust really had a help wanted sign hung out this year for leadership. He had one defensive player from last year return, a starter. So he had to build that defense. The offense, on the other hand, he brings in a brand new scheme and a different scheme than what Altamore ran for several years at Dow High. So the learning process was huge. You got a young kid that makes the drive to Midland, Michigan. He drives to HH Dow High, learns that system, and all of a sudden he set a school record in touchdown passes. He's got 16 of them, does Corey Castle. He is 9 attempts away from setting an HH Dow record for pass attempts on the year. Bob Jude, remember the name?
Oh, yeah.
Actually owns that record by 9 attempts coming into tonight. That is at 185 attempts is what Corey's gone to the air with. He's averaging.
I think that'll be broke tonight. I think.
And he's among the league. He's among the leaders at HH Dow in season yards. He's got 1220 coming into tonight. He is explosive. It takes some pressure off Parmalee. It plays well against the Midland Chemics, who are a defensive stopper on the ground. They are lower in the rankings in the air. It is, as we have discussed coming in to tonight, and the energy about Midland Community Stadium here on the 24th day of October 2003 is in for a huge, huge high school show, and we got it for you right here on MCTV Channel 3, Midland's only television station. Dow won the toss. They have decided to defer that toss. Midland will receive at the scoreboard end of Midland Community Stadium. The Chemics will now run east to west. They'll go right to left for you here to begin the first quarter. A year ago, you wouldn't have thought that 364 days ago the outcome would be what this year has to offer. Dow was the winner in 2002 of this contest, 33-6. Just a year ago, both programs have seen changes in personnel, changes in games, and we, folks, are underway for the 9th and final regular season contest of high school football 2003. Fielded back around the 20 and brought down and forced on the far side down around the 26-yard line by Jason Parsons.
Yeah, it was Justin Parsons there taking that kickoff, and the Dow High Chargers, Dale, did a very nice job on that kickoff coverage. The ball went from the middle of the field to the left hash mark, and you could notice that the kickoff team maintained their lanes. The guys on the opposite side of where the ball was at stayed in their lanes because they don't want to let contain go and let the runner get outside of them. Here they go, Dale.
Granzo will QB's in an I. He's got an I behind him. Handoff second back through, up and over the 30 to about the 31. Jimmy Parsons, the tailback, gets the call.
It was Ken Spencer, Dale, on the stop from his defensive back position, and Spencer coming in, the senior that you had talked about, who gave the leadership from last year, back giving the leadership this year, is trying to play over a hand that's got 10 stitches in it as a result of an automobile accident he was in earlier this week.
Granzo, the 5'9", 165-pound senior, again hands off to his halfback running over the right side. Check a number for you. Believe it was Butler, the ball carrier. Do it again. Nope, Jimmy Parsons gets the call, the young sophomore tailback.
Yeah, leading the way for the Chemics up front. Starting center is Brock Williams, a 6', 205-pound senior. The guards are going to be Alan Drummond at 6'7", 250, and Joe Grillo's at the other guard at 6', 265.
Ball on the 33. It's 3rd and 5. We've got a timeout. And the Chemics spend one early to get things settled down. And we talked to both coaches about settling this thing down. It's funny because you get the adrenaline factor, you get the fact that you've played ball not only with but against these guys and against some of the guys you're with and with some of the guys you're now against. It really does take a quarter or so to allow those adrenaline features running through each one of these young fellas' bodies a chance to settle down and make it the game. Both coaches agree the second half is probably the determining half of this ball game.
Right, long as they keep them close, keep the game close. I mean, you got to go out there, get a couple serves into you and hit and get all those butterflies kind of knocked out of you and look at. But the way Coach Wilczek's looking, looks like they had a plan set up, and they came out and had to take a timeout so they didn't get in the right right alignment. You know, you work all week to come up with a couple little plays because you have basic ones.
Granzo, he's in about a 7-step drop, looks to be setting up maybe a screen. Coverage is good, and Dow with a sack inside his 20 to about the 18-yard line, and a swarming Charger defense puts a stop on Granzo's ideas.
Michael Derry in on that tackle, Dale, coming over from his defensive back position. Derry, a senior, weighs in at 220 with a 6'4" frame, and 11 tackles and 7 solo tackles on the year. Derry getting it done.
So moving at the line, draws flags, whistles blown and stop the play. It appeared that maybe the Chemics will pick up 5. We'll see where the call comes from here.
I think we had encroachment on the defensive side of the ball, Dale. Yeah.
A 13-yard sack. That'll move it forward 5. It'll place the ball on the 25, and that's where the Chemics will go to get rid of it. Doing the punting for the Midland Chemics. Where's number 22 is Matt Brown. Brown is your punter. He gets rid of it at about the 15, and
nice
it is
kick. Nice
to Parsons.
kick.
Parsons fields it at the 38. Dennis stopped at about the 39, about a 1-yard return on about a 40-yard punt. The Chargers in possession offensively for the first time in this one. 4 and out after a 13-yard sack on a 3rd and 5 play for the Chemics, and the Chargers now with the ball in the offense on their own 39.
Yeah, the Chargers are going to come out in that offensive spread that we expected. This is the new formation that Coach Faust has put in. It's a spread offense. He'll go 4 wide, man in motion near side.
Hand off to Parmalee, heads up, 50, 45, nice cutback for the youngster. 30 inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line.
That's just what we talked about in the pregame, Dale. That one of the keys for the Chemics is going to have to be to stop Jalen Parmalee, and that pickup right there of probably about 25 yards. And we got the replay. You see him busting through the line. And,
nice cutback.
Jimmy Parsons missed him, and Justin was able to come over from the safety position and drag him out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. Parmalee is being recruited, Dale, by a number of Division I schools, including Michigan and Iowa and Notre Dame. And that particular run right there showed exactly why the Big Ten schools have a very big interest in him, as well as the independent Notre Dame.
1st and 10 from the Chemic 24. Parmalee again, right back up the hole. He got a ton on last time. A little less shopping room in that one. He is inside the 25. It'll be marked at about the 21, a gain of, let's say, 3. 2nd and 7. Clock runs, 9:23 to play. Just underway, Midland Community Stadium.
Yeah, that was Joe Grillo, Dale, making that stop on Parmalee. Grillo was from that defensive end position. 56 tackles on the year. The young man gets it done, got good speed, and that he'll be a key for that the Chargers have to focus on to keep him off of Parmalee.
Single setback is Parmalee from the shotgun. It's Castle. Motion coming this way. In the snap, and it's Parmalee again. It dropped the handoff, actually dropped for a loss of about 3 yards.
Right in there quick. They just kind of let him go there because it was going to go on the other side. He got in there so fast that they almost had the handoff to him.
A loss of 2 officially. It'll bring up a 3rd and 9 on the Chemic 23. An absolutely beautiful night, just supposed to settle into the early 40s temperature-wise. Overcast sky, very little wind coming out of the west. So it is, in fact, going crossfield, but if anything, to the back of the Chargers as they work left to right on your TV screen. Castle, Parmalee. Parmalee stood up, been spun in the Chemic defense. Now settling in with less room for the Chargers to work with in the wide open field.
Yeah, that was Blake McDonald, Dale, coming in, and Lernier coming in from the linebacker position, and Ben McDonald coming in from that corner position.
Oh, they have a field goal kicker. I don't know if he can kick it this far.
That run a loss of 1. It brings up 4th and 10. Faust's Chargers going to go for it. They've got to get down to about the 14 to pick up a first down. To the air. First time. Had a man open. Nice cut. Had the distance he needed. Guess what? First down.
That was an outstanding play by Michael Rogers for the Chargers. Knew where the first down marker was.
Sure did.
Ran by it by about 2 yards. Did the stop and come back about a yard. And just an outstanding offensive play by Rogers from that split end position.
Needed to get to the 14. Got to the 13. First and 10.
Did a nice job. Looked like he slipped a little bit even and still concentrated enough to
nice ball
catch
by
the ball.
Castle, because your receiver goes down to one knee and you still throw it in a zone that it can be caught and not have to be jumped for. Corey put it right on the numbers as he was down. Parmalee gets the call, number 34, inside the 10, bust down to about the 8, maybe the 7-yard line.
Whole bunch of Chemics in on that tackle. Number 97, McDonald. Number 63, Ben Lernier, was in on that tackle as well.
Yeah, you take a look at Parmalee's numbers, guys. It's just amazing. 16 touchdowns, actually, 21 touchdowns. Am I right?
Yeah, between receiving and
receiving,
and running. 16 running, 5 receiving.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
A lot of offense packed up in one high school senior's body. 5'11", 200-pound Jalen Parmalee. 2nd and 5. Motion now to the top of the screen for the Chargers. Shotgun. Castle looks down, has an option. The pitch man decides to keep it.
Looks like the ball is on the ground, and Chemics looking like they've got it, but the officials say it was down.
Benjamin Lernier actually makes the stop on Castle.
Colton Frost did a nice job, took away the pitch on him.
Yeah.
He come right in and threw the ball. He would have got it. Watch him right here. He just fouls. Number 2 just fouls, Parmalee right out there and doesn't give him a chance to get open.
Right.
Yeah, Coulter did a very nice job. I mean, the defensive end on that option play, the defensive end has the responsibility for keeping that quarterback from getting outside and forcing him inside.
3rd and 7, Castle in a drop from the shotgun, and that he'll throw away and keep position. He has swung.
That was Coulter
first.
Yeah, Coulter first, and also number 25 for the Chemics, Matt Wolf. Now, first putting a lot of pressure on Corey Castle, and first comes in with 4 sacks on the year from his linebacker position. So he is a person that the Chargers are really going to have to know where he's at, along with Lernier and Grillo.
He blitzes a lot.
Yeah.
Michael Rogers is your field goal kicker.
1 of 4. Chargers are 1 of 4 on field goals on the year.
They are now 2 of 5.
Now 2 of 5. That ball was kicked superbly by Rogers. Wind blowing a little bit from the south to the north, and he split the uprights there. So
it's about a 27-yarder.
That would have been a good from 40 yards there. That was a nice kick there. That one
So
Look, see it right there again, how far back it goes past the goalpost. Kicked it past the high jump pit.
3-0 on the 27-yard field goal by kicker Michael Rogers, and Dow has drawn what they knew they needed to do, and that's put some offense on the board early in this one.
I'm sure that Coach Faust is very happy with that offensive, that first series there. Get the butterflies out, establish the run like they did with Parmalee breaking that first play off for 25-plus yards, and I'm sure on the other side of the field, Coach Wilczek and Coach Rapanis, the defensive coordinator, trying to re-strategize on how they contain Parmalee. The thing is, Chargers have a lot of flexibility in what they can do. They've thrown the ball a lot throughout the year, but I think you'll see each team countering each other throughout the game. They'll try to counter and check and make and all that out there throughout the night.
Rogers again to boot. Deepest back is Parsons. And this one is over the head and into the end zone.
Oh, barely.
It'll be down and brought to the 20.
Almost
nice kick.
goofed there.
Near.
That's a very good defensive step on the Chargers' behalf there. Get that ball out of bounds. Don't let them set up a return and make them start deep in their own end at the 20-yard line. And that's one of the things that the Chemics have all year long have been the beneficiary of great field position. And I think that's one of the things that Coach Faust is wanting to prevent.
That's what their defense does for them, set them up.
That's right.
They've got to work with short field all year long.
Exactly. 5.5 to play first quarter. 3-0 our score. Midland Community Stadium. Counter play gets Jimmy Parsons some room over the 20, about the 25, down at about the 26. Pick up of about 6 yards.
That was
bring up a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, Ken Spencer making that stop from his defensive back position, and Spencer with that soft cast on his hand doesn't look like that's causing a problem for him.
Yeah, you're 17, that doesn't hurt. Play with that cast.
2nd and 4, 4:58 clock runs. Chemics with the ball, and they trail by 3. Gronzo again, and pressure from behind. Brought down to John Jacobs.
Yeah, John Jacobs came in like a madman coming out of that corner position. And
here's a look at it. Number 5, watch him. It's on a blitz. He does from his defensive end. Nice cut. Shows outside, comes inside. Boy,
yeah.
Is that done with his hands, his feet, or both?
His feet. He never touched them. You know,
yeah, Craig Bott just lost his footing and was not able to get a block on him. And then when he did get a little bit of a hand on him, it actually pushed him the way he wanted to go.
It's a loss of 6, 3rd and 11. Gonzo hands us off to Parsons. Parsons slips the tackle. First down.
Good run. Hard run by
over
Johnny.
the 30 to about the 34.
Jim Parsons running very. Stop the Chargers by number 80.
Very impressed with Jimmy Parsons, a young sophomore coming in 5'8", 155 pounds. A sophomore, yes, that's right. 10th grader, making a huge statement and impact for his Chemic teammates here this year.
Well, he's so quick, he's so little that you don't really get a shot at him. You're kind of like, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, great acceleration and great vision.
There was a shot of the sack prior to the Chemics picking up a first down. 1st and 10. This one comes over the left side. Brought down. It'd be pick up working this way, number 34, our ball carrier.
That's Matthew Askovich on the run there. As we said earlier in the pregame, Dale, the Chemics will spread the offense around. They haven't had the one back that they've focused on all year long like the Chargers have with Parmalee, but the Chemics will spread it around, so that really makes it tough for the defensive team to figure out who they're going to focus on.
A 5-yard gain, and brings up 2nd and 5 on the 39. Parsons again, this time over the right side, out near a first down. We'll get the mark, and there's a late flag. Shaw, the tackler for the Chargers. Preliminary call, I didn't get it. It came well after the play had ended.
My guess is that it's either going to be a personal foul or a face mask down there.
Yeah. Someone gave someone an extra shot.
The Zebras are going to talk it over and let us know what's going on. Oh, against the Chemics.
It is. Here are our officials tonight. Our referee is Paul Helber. hails from the Ann Arbor area. Our umpire tonight is Ed Feaster out of Belleville. Back judge is Derek Adolph out of Farmington Hills. Our line judge tonight is Chuck Lindsay. He comes from Pinckney, Michigan. And our linesman tonight is Mike Parsons. While there are more Parsons on the field than there are on the phone book. Go figure. And Mike Parsons, our linesman, is out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. There is your officiating crew. 3:11 to play. First quarter. 3-0. The Chargers atop the Chemics. Chemics with the ball. 2nd and 10. Motion to the bottom. Granzo shows fake. Still back in the pocket. It collapses and he looks to scramble and he's tripped up. And perhaps got back to the line of scrimmage.
The one thing that the Chargers defensive front has been able to do to Granzo is really put a lot of pressure on him. Getting it done up front for the Chargers is at the end position is David Dunn, number 55. Jacob Zania there at the defensive tackle along with Doug Ladd and Anthony Threet, putting the pressure on the young quarterback, Matt Granzo.
Steinke ends up making the stop, number 60 for the Chargers. 3rd and 10. Handoff, this goes to Parsons, right side. Pushes it out. The Chargers chase it that way, and he's forced out of bounds before the first down marker.
Number 3, Ryan Dingman making the stop over there, giving some help with number 32, Jalen Parmalee, as he plays both ways here on occasion, and then Ken Spencer from his defensive back position. So good acceleration for Parsons around the right end, but not enough to get the first down. Comes up about 3.5, 4 yards short.
Jacobs will drop back, as well as Brad Schock. Away goes
Another
the punt.
nice kick.
Fair catch is caught and mishandled.
Oh, that's a touchdown.
Touchdown, Chemics.
Jason.
Now, I don't know if that ball can be advanced in the high school.
Justin Parsons, I think you will notice we saw, well, let's see, the linesman still standing where the ball stopped, but yeah, see they're placing the mark. Never controlled, only touched.
Still Midland's ball.
It will be Midland ball, no touchdown. So Justin will take that 6 out of the books, at least on that particular play. Talk about special teams and field position, a great punt. There it is. At the mark and where the ball was mishandled by Jacobs, Parsons runs in, and then we'll run it out. Here it is.
We talked earlier that special teams have been the key for the Chemics, and we said also that mistakes are going to be a big part of this game here tonight. Let's see what the Chemics can do with it. Let's see how the Chargers can rebound.
Ball's on the 19. Parsons over the right side. He'll pick up half plus what he needed. Bring up about 2nd and 4, maybe inside the 15. The ball marked at the 14.
Yeah, that was number 25, Alex Rodnickdale, and also number 80, Steve Pankratz, making the stop on Parsons there. Pankratz, a linebacker, 6 foot 205, is only a sophomore, so he's going to have a bright future here in Charger Town.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 on the 14. Clock runs 1:47 first quarter. Chemics looking to take advantage of a huge turnover on a mishandled punt. This is Parsons again, inside the 10 to the 5 with a flag in the backfield.
Nice job by Parsons being able to hurdle over the defender, but we got a piece of yellow laundry on the field, and that's a good indication when we see it back there that we probably got a holding penalty. All right, legal block.
That's what the call is.
And Coach Terry Wilczek is over at the 20-yard line, halfway out to the hash mark, just begging and pleading about the call.
They are pushing it back, and his assistants are grabbing him and yanking him.
Oh, gets the defense.
Gets the defense.
Yeah, actually the preliminary call went.
I've seen that more and more this year, is that, because people come up to be blocking them, and so to take out the blockers, you're supposed to, instead of hitting behind it, they're wiping out the lineman at the knees.
Coach Faust is now taking up the Wilczek stance inside the 20 on the Dow High side of things, conversing with one of the linesmen down here.
Well, Dale, it was called one way. Coach Wilczek ran out there, and now Coach Faust is out there. You know, it might be one of those things that's a do-over.
It is going to be marched off against the Chargers, so the call will go. It is a first down. 1st and 5. Actually doing that. 1st and 3.5. and goal. Chemics with the ball, and they trail by 3. Let's see how far does the Charger defense bend. This is Parsons. Cut it to the outside. End zone, standing up 6-3.
The young man's just got outstanding acceleration. I mean, just it's great acceleration. Gets out there. Give him the ball and let him go with it. Is what
See how quick he just took like one step to the right there, and then just another step in his full blast. There they are. Well, that was just showing him arguing, but I mean, if you get all the way back there, you'll be able to see where the defensive linemen come in and just take out all the blockers by going down to the ground and taking out the offensive linemen's knees.
Brandon Federoff, Dale, is going to be kicking the extra point, and this young man is an
Good snap.
outstanding kicker.
Height and distance, absolutely perfect. 7-3, the Chemics take huge advantage of a mishandled punt, and that was costly.
Well, anytime you get into these big games like this, Dale, when two teams that are very evenly matched, and some folks out there listening may say, how can you say they're evenly matched? How can you say they're evenly matched when the Chargers have 3 losses? Well, the Chargers barely lost a couple games, and they were in a game, a shootout with Saginaw High, and they were up, and Saginaw High put the shootout on and came back and won. They lost in the last few seconds against one of the Bay City teams, and you know what? Sports fans, we're going to have us a dandy here the rest of the way.
All right. This could be a shootout. Good one. You know, even though both the defenses are ranked up there pretty high, you know.
It's going to be real interesting to see how the Chemics defense adjusts after the Chargers' first series when Parmalee ran quite easily against them. So we'll see how the Chemics adjust, and we'll see what type of counter adjustments that Coach Faust makes if the Chemics do continue to put an emphasis and a focus on Parmalee.
Yeah, you know, Jalen busted the first one pretty good up there in the middle. I mean, the best thing is that, you know, Midland High caught him. You know, usually once he breaks out that open like that, you don't catch him. But he did have to dodge a couple other guys in there to get to the outside.
Federoff will actually get rid of the placed kick here as soon as they get what it is they need set up.
TV timeout.
Yeah, probably.
I think Coach Faust is still having some discussion with the head linesman down there at about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Coach Faust is still describing and explaining what it is. 6 years as an assistant under Frank Altamore. His 5 years over at Alma. And he was also the coach up at Beaverton.
Yeah. Actually spent a little time out at Bullet Creek, Dale.
Yes, he did. So first year as a Charger head, he's got 20 years of football preceding his arrival to the northern side of town. Federoff will and does get rid of it. Parmalee sits up. It did go out of bounds. You're right, Randy. It covers that kind of distance. It took one of those odd hops, stayed in, got near the line, and could have maintained and stayed inbounds, and then all of a sudden it's Chemic ball again.
Yeah, so they recover that one. I mean, if you look at where referee picked it up, it was only like a yard out of bounds.
Right, right.
Yeah, but what that does is that gives the Chargers great field position. That ball's going to come to the 35-yard line, and that's not how the Chemics want to start off.
So the fans pretty packed in here tonight. It's a nice night out.
Oh, just a beautiful night.
A minute 21 to play, first quarter. Castle, Parmalee wrapped up at the line, and that seems to be a pretty steady flow of the Chemic defense. Outside of the 40-yard gain he had on the first carry, they have, in fact, taken a look at Jalen Parmalee and put a stop to him before he can get out and get exploded into that linebacker and secondary realm of the Chemic defense.
Yeah, that was Coulter first and Ben Lerninger making the stop on Parmalee. And you can see every time Jalen gets the ball, there's a whole host of white jerseys all over him.
Well, you got Matt Wolf and R.J. Dubors doing their job for Ben Lerner, getting all these tackles. I mean, we say him every other time when we're up here, but that just shows how good that the defensive linemen are doing.
Well, folks who are familiar with these two teams playing know that on the defensive side of the ball, the Chemics use a lot of that grubbing mechanism where those front down linemen, instead of getting up, coming out of their 4-point stance and going into the offensive lineman, they actually stay on all fours and they crawl. That's the grub technique. And what the method of that madness there, the desire for that, is to clog everything up. To clog everything up, take the blockers off of their block, and let your linebackers fill the voids.
Spencer in motion this way. Castle from the shotgun. 3-step drop out of the shotgun, and it is completed out here to Spencer.
And that was a nice catch by Spencer. The one thing that you may notice is they ran Spencer to the right side. The cast is on the right hand, so what it allows him to do is to use his left hand as his catching dominant hand, Dale. And Coach Faust before the game said that Spencer was trying to plead his case on the pregame that he was okay to play offense with the soft
He
cast.
must have did good.
It'll be interesting to see if they throw to him when he's got to catch the ball with the right hand extended in that soft cast.
3rd and 8, balls on the 37. Castle, shotgun again. Parmalee stays back and helps block. This pass is
broke the wrong
out
way.
and intended on the other side. And he did break, and Michael Rogers from his wide receiver position was the intended receiver, and the ball nowhere near him. Rogers broke in, ball went out.
Now, Michael Derry was wide open down here at about the 45-yard line, and after the incomplete pass of the opposite side, had his hands up, was walking back to Corey saying, "Corey, I'm your man. I'm wide open here at the 45. You've got to see the whole field." Well, I think Corey's seen the whole field all year long. Young man coming in with over 1,200 yards passing.
Good snap and over-end kick. Jimmy Parsons fields it at about the 27. Breaks loose and picks up about 5 yards on a well-covered punt. And that's where the Chemics will take over with their 3rd possession. They lead it 7-3 with 9.0 seconds remaining first quarter.
John Jacobs did a nice job. I mean, Parsons was doing the proper thing, just getting the ball and trying to split the two guys, and John Jacobs held on for dear life there and got him down there. But,
Yeah, we've seen Parsons shake loose of that one guy who's hanging on a hip or hanging on a thigh a couple of different times to get good yardage from it. Last play of the quarter, we believe it is. Gronzo, handoff Parsons, 35-40, busts a nice spin at 50, 45, 40. Jimmy Parsons on a cutback, and he's inside the 25 to the 20 of the Chargers. That is the way you end the quarter.
That makes a statement for the Chemics. Jimmy Parsons, we've said throughout the first half, great acceleration, great vision, and it looks like we have pretty good agility too.
He's rubbing himself there. Guess he'll be all right. A couple minutes in, rest up between the corners here. Here it goes. He just busts it.
Right here, nice spin. Well, you know, I finally figured out why both these Parsons boys are carrying such a load for the Midland Chemics. Their dad turns 40 this week, so they're actually going to be required to carry a lot more of a load at home because the old man's getting old a little bit. Happy birthday going out to Larry. I don't know how we found that out, Larry. Yeah, we actually former Chemic athlete turning geezer on us. Good thing you got them boys running, because I envision them probably running a lot of errands to the store for Dad, getting his slippers and paper when he gets home from the yard. Yeah. Youth of America taking over for Dad.
Larry played back here in 1981 and 82 on the varsity, and 80 on the JV team. And you talk about that family theme, Dale. I mean, we've got a number of set of brothers that are in this game, and compliments to our friends at the Midland Daily News for some nice articles that have helped us prepare for tonight's game. But you've got the Christie boys for Midland High.
Right.
You got the Lerner fellas also from Midland High, the Parsons. Then over on the Dow High side, you got the Shaw boys are cousins, I believe. And I think we're even missing one more. On the Dow High side, the Rogers fellas. So a lot of family atmosphere out here at the Midland Community Stadium.
First play, second quarter, Chemics with the lead in the ball. 7-3 our score. handoff in a delay right over the middle, working off the left side.
That was Mike Christie. We just referred to Mike as one of the brothers playing in this game, and his brother is an offensive guard, Matt Christie, who sometimes gets in there and leads the way for the big brother. Yep.
Good hit there, good tackle.
Picked him right up, didn't he?
So, yeah.
A gain of 4, 2nd and 6 from the 16. And this is Gronzo. Motion goes to the top, is Butler. Parsons gets the ball. He's up to about the 15, a gain of a yard before he's wrapped up.
Yeah, hit real quick.
I'd like to see him stay on the ground a little bit. You know, he likes to jump over there at that line. You know, he's going to catch his lunch one of these days. At least if you stay on the ground, he's quick enough, he can dodge, you know, sidestep him. But you keep jumping in the air, someone's going to say hello one of these days.
That was Jalen Parmalee in on that last stop. And one of the things you got to wonder with Jalen, is good athlete as he is. And here's the play.
This is Gronzo. Fake to Parsons, incomplete pass, had it and then didn't. Matt Brown, the intended receiver.
I think somebody tipped it. I think Jalen tipped it.
Yeah, might have got a finger in there at the last minute there, but started to say, you know, with Jalen playing in that linebacker position or that defensive back position on occasion, you got to wonder, as much as he runs the ball offensively, will that become a fatigue factor later on in the game as the fourth quarter? But you know what? That young man is a well-conditioned athlete, and it's just adrenaline alone, I think, will keep him going.
Well, we are going to see.
And they don't play him all the time.
Fedorov, a good snap.
Good kicker.
Hold is down, and it is good. Fedorov, a 32-yard field goal puts the Chemics up by 7. Here is the kick. Lots of distance, guys.
Lots of distance.
Yep.
This kid's a good kicker.
Outstanding kicker. He comes in on the year having made 27 extra points, 9 field goals, and he also got 1 touchdown through there. 60 points on the year coming into the night, so I think we just bumped that up another 4, so 64 and counting for Brandon Fedorov.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of points for a kicker in high school. You got to think about that.
Well, the Chargers, Dale, broke on the scoreboard early with a 27-yard field goal by Rogers, put them ahead 3-0 with 5:30 remaining in the first quarter. The Chemics countered on their next possession with Parsons getting a 3-yard touchdown to make it 7-3 favor the Chemics, and now the Chemics have scored their third of 10 unanswered points here, just starting the second quarter here with 10:35 remaining.
So you see more and more of the kickoff teams, you know, huddling up quick because these guys aren't breaking right out and trying to take away their blocking pattern.
Right. Parmalee and Shock will await the Fedorov kick. And keep in mind the looming 7 they trail by was a huge turnover.
That's a live ball.
Yeah.
Chemics got it.
Chemics got it. You can't let it bounce.
And flags back here. We've got Parsons locked up with a Charger. It looks like one of the Shocks. And Jalen Parmalee saw the ball bounce and steered well clear. Maybe like Randy referenced on the last kickoff, near the sideline, would it have bounced out? If not, and the flags came well after the kickoff. Let's take a look at it.
Right here, but the flag is back here by the 40. We can't see what's going on there. Right there.
It was a clip call.
Well, what happened
Originally,
on that kickoff, Dale, is the previous kickoff that Fedorov kicked off, it went out of bounds. And I think Jalen thought that ball, with the spin it had on it, the angle it was taken, that he thought that ball was going to go out of bounds as well. And the ball hit and actually bounced straight up, and the Chemics were there to recover.
Timeout, Dow High.
Yeah, I mean, he was close on the last one here, but you know, you got to run up there and catch those. Take your chances on catching them in the air. still haven't figured out what the call is.
Well, it's a personal foul call, but it actually occurred after the possession change. It didn't affect the Chemics coming up with the ball, so they recovered it inside the 20 down to the 15. That 10 yards now brings it back as the as a foul, as the penalty called against the Chemics, and now they're at their 29-yard line with the ball. And you know, it's funny because you brought it up on the last kick, like Parmalee kind of, and you said, get the ball, and he didn't, it went out of bounds. This time, I think he thought the same thing as well. It's close enough to the sideline where if it goes out, you got it at the 35. You don't want to mishandle it because the fumble, because Midland's covering that kick like it's planned, which it is. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, they have themselves a really nice long onside kick that netted them about 50 yards.
Yeah.
In fairness.
Well, the key for the Chargers right here is stop this, play over this. You know, they're still 29 yards away. That's a long way. And if the Chargers can get a stop here, or at least limit them to a field goal, that is a momentum victory for them, I think, in this case here. They can make that happen.
Ronzo to Parsons. Parsons this time going left side. Cuts inside the first corner, and he's still not down. He's fighting, and he battles his way for what appears to be a first down.
Yeah, John Jacobs, number 5, with that stop there for the Chargers.
John Sheridan coming to finally knock him down all the way from the other side.
They got the young sophomore. Bob, here it is. There's the first hit. A nice cutback. Just dig. Got himself about 7 more yards from where he was originally hit and tied up. And
that's the key to both the Jimmy Parsons and Jalen Parmalee, you know, the workhorses in the backfield. When they get hit, if you notice, those legs keep driving. They keep that low center of gravity, keep the legs underneath them, keep driving to work for that extra yard.
The penalty, a 10-yard. Offense, the Chemics blocked in the back.
How can you call that? That was way on the right side, the ball was going left.
Yeah, flag actually came away from the play.
It's going to be about 1st and 12, Dale.
It does. 1st and 12 from the 31. So it's the same series of downs they started with, except they actually lost 2 yards on the 10-yard spot foul. Parsons will say, let's do it again. He does inside the 30 down to about the 23.
Back about to where they were.
Dunn brings him down, as well as Parmalee. Bring up 2nd and 5, so he got himself a 7-yard gain.
The one thing I haven't really seen Midland do yet tonight that they have done typically in the past is run that pitch. I mean, it's more of a dive, more off tackle.
Right. They'll run it as much as they used to, but they do a lot more crapping than we use. Joe Grillo is really crapping good. He pulls down there and goes down the line, and Ellen Drummond, the guards come back in and out and do a lot more crapping than they ever used to do.
Yeah, that was done again in on that tackle deal for
back-to-back
the Chargers, so he's making his presence felt out there on the defensive side of the ball.
3rd and 6, clock runs. Right about 9 minutes to play first half. If you just joined us, city championship potential. Do we go to the playoffs if you're the Chargers? How many home openers may you have in the district rounds in the playoff play? Grillo on the run.
There you go. Good play.
Grazzo rather on the run. Delivers an on-the-run pass, a nice pass and a nice play for the completion as he hooks up with Brent Cahoon.
Yeah, that was a very nice job by Grazzo with the play-action pass, freezing the backside linebackers so that they didn't get the pressure on him, and then by holding him with the play-action, then he rolled right to move away from it so he could see everything that was coming at him. And he just did a very nice job rolling and rolling and rolling outside that tackle box until he could get a good view at Cahoon and get him with a nice pass.
On the run. Granzo, lone setback is Parsons, the young sophomore behind him. Hurst and Parsons will get it. Cuts out, goes right. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a short gain.
And Jalen Parmalee on that stop there. Also Steve Pancratz. And, good pursuit. getting to the Chemics ball carrier and knocking him down before he gets much of a pickup.
Now back to the line of scrimmage.
Pancras is just following. Wherever you see Jimmy Parsons goes, that's where he's going.
Yep.
If you're watching me,
Like
it's a
the book.
shadow. Yeah.
The shadow knows. 2nd and 10 on the 13. Single setback for the Chemics. Motion by Cahoon to the top. Gronzo hesitates, sets, and is tackled for a loss of about 4 yards. A sack.
Stopped by number 68, Jacob Padilla, and number 79.
I think what we've seen thus far here in the first half, Randy, is if Gronzo's going to be able to throw, they're really going to have to get him in motion. I don't think he's going to be able to set in the pocket because the Chargers are just getting too much penetration up the middle, and then their ends are getting a good slantward angle in at him and putting a lot of pressure on him.
Right, and they have a 9-man. They have a 9-man front, 8 and 9-man front all the time. Midland High usually only sends out 2 receivers.
3rd and 15 from the 18. And a whistle will stop the play. A delay against the Chemics, and that'll back them up 5.
So, and then when they go on pass patterns, they lose a couple guys going out on the pass pattern, and they still have 9 people, so you just keep bringing 9 people. You only have 6 guys to block 9. Numbers are wrong.
This is the 3rd penalty the Chemics have in this series. After the pseudo onside kick, this is the 3rd penalty. The first one was a personal foul during the onside kick. The second one was the block in the back, and now this delay.
And you've actually spent, they got the ball with about 10 and a half in the quarter, and it's down under 7 and a half now, so it's been 3 minutes of time. Parsons, he's wrapped up. Gain of a few. Back to around the 20 before the Chargers again key on him and bring him down. Parmalee in on the stop.
Fedorov is going to come in, Dale. And
Under 40.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be about a 37-yard field goal attempt.
He has one. That was his last one. It was a 37-yarder. The ball is placed at the 20. Give yourself -7 on the snap to the holder.
Some happy fans.
Plus the 10 of the end zone. That makes it again about a 37. Almost the same spot as he picked it up.
Uh-oh.
And the Chargers have wrapped up Fedorov and dodged the bullet to remain within just a touchdown.
Wow. That wasn't a very good series for Midland High. One of the reasons they are 8-0 right now is they've taken advantage of those. They're taking advantage of that, and not a lot of penalties, not a lot of turnovers and stuff. And that was pretty untypical for this year. They've really taken advantage of all that stuff.
Well, you know, and Blair brought this as well. The penalties on that particular possession, the fact that they had momentum, they had just scored a 37-yard field goal. They had the Chargers against the rope. Right now, momentum can clearly shift if the Chargers can put together some offense after all this. Passes in the air and incomplete.
I'm sure Coach Phil Liggett, for the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, is just elated with that last defensive stand by his Charger team. That could be a huge shift in momentum, and the shift that Coach Faust is hopefully looking for.
Well, and take a look, rather than, you know, the assumption is that the Chemics were doing something wrong. I think you hit something as well, Blair. The Chargers are doing something defensively that's causing the Chemics to step out of the box and create those block in the back calls and the holding calls, and they're creating the Chemics to play a slightly different game offensively, perhaps with some of the pressure.
I think this is called speed.
Kessel. Nice pass and overthrow. Intended receiver is Michael Rogers.
Rogers had the defender, Jimmy Parsons, beat there by about 3 or 4 yards, but the pass was overthrown
by about 10. 7 to 10.
Nice arm that Corey Kessel has, and I would not be surprised.
Here's a look at it.
If we see that again. And we did see it again. It's just a replay.
Ask and you shall receive.
They need to throw it up a little higher, get some air, and let Michael run under it a little bit more.
He had a pretty good line on it, didn't he?
Yeah, a little more air so you can run through it.
Couple of passes consecutively in this series. He's yet to hook up with his receivers, but he seems to have the time. So the offensive line is giving him the time from the shotgun. He's got time again. looks, a nice tight spiral, incomplete. Intended receiver that time was Andrew White.
That ball appeared to sail on Corey a little bit. Brent Cahoon over there defending on that, but that ball just seemed to take off and sail a little bit, much like what we've seen from John Navarre all year.
But Dow's line's giving them some time.
Yes,
we were looking at it earlier. Dow's line averages about 250 pounds across the front there.
They've got some big boys up there, and Matt Modern and Luke Kuzniak and Bill Merrill, Sean Bush, and Clay Atkinson.
Castle with the boot.
Got
A flag before the play even began to get developed. And actually, the Chemics had a pretty good jump on that. Didn't get a hand on it, but actually it busted through the line looking for a block on that punt.
They might have got roughing the kicker, though. All said and done, the flag wasn't down beforehand.
The flag came early, and it actually came, where was it?
They
That
give
might
it
have been
against-
just by the back judge to let Parsons know the play had been called. It came from the line.
Offsides.
There it is, illegal substitution.
How can you legal substitute on defense? I didn't think. I thought it was only offense.
Maybe what they had is too many men on the field.
That could have been it. Didn't get off in time. Castle will do it again, and Parsons will wait again. Castle from his own 10. Going off the side of his foot. Bounces at the 40, inside the 40, where Jimmy Parsons will take it at the 45, 50, and a nice fumble. Recovered by the Chemics on the Charger 49.
Right there.
That was number 52 for the Chemics.
60.
53 makes the recovery.
David Johnson making the recovery.
David Johnson, right man, right spot, right time at your Chemics.
Watch,
Here's a look at it.
He's making a block over here and it rolls right into him.
The ball, a nice hit right there.
Right there he is.
Jars
It
it
rolls
loose.
right to him.
The Chargers saw it about the same time, but you're right. You're right. From the 49, 5-5-5. That's the time left remaining, first half. The Chemics with a 10-3 lead here in the city championship. The postseason, will you go? Will you host? How many weekends will you host? Lots at stake in this 48-minute contest between these two city rivals.
And Alan Drummond in on that stop. He's wanting to make sure that he helps the Chargers do everything they can to get to that next week's game and making the playoffs.
Yeah. A brand new system in place for these Chargers. Didn't have a lot of returning. There was the four-core offensive lead, not a lot of returning leadership roles. Leadership developed over the another fumble. And it looks this time, it ended up in a bundle of Chargers. We'll see what it is that was on the stack. Charger football.
Jacob Howard.
Looks like number 50 come away with it. Doug Ladd.
Covered by number 55, David Dunn.
Dunn actually is officially being given the recovery. Let's take a look at it.
Looks like he's running good here. Just
Strip poke from behind.
Pulled it out on him.
Yep, poke from behind, and in the last 5 minutes, we've seen a huge shift in momentum.
Ken Spencer, the captain of the defense there, he ripped it out. He seen the ball and took a couple swats at her.
Castle
Good
and
job.
Parmalee in the backfield. Castle with time and a receiver wide open. And Michael Rogers hauls it in.
Nice job of catching there by Michael. Used his hands and tried to get it into his body. Caught it with his hands out there.
I tell
Chains
you
move.
what,
Go
Corey
ahead.
Castle had a lot of time to
He has.
throw. And that has got to be kudos going out to those boys up front. Matt Morden over at the tackle position. Luke Kosnick, the guard position. Center Bill Merrill, and we'll get the rest after this play.
Motion goes to the top. Castle and Parmalee in the backfield from a shotgun. Will show the pitch. Castle's going to keep it. He's out over the 49 to about the 50. Remains inbounds.
McDonald.
Clock will run. That's a pickup of about 4. Bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Blake McDonald coming up to fill that hole, doing a nice job maintaining the contain after the defensive end turned it in.
He is fast.
You can see from the long shot, we've got, they say typically about 8K show up to this bad boy. We've done it again. About 8,000 people. All the ends are full at the ends of each track, both home side where the Dow in their home green jersey and gold pant reside tonight as HH Dow. The visitor side are the Chemics. That's packed full. Bleachers starting to open up as halftime approaches. We'll have 450 students, not football players, partaking in and participating in halftime. It is more than athletics. It's extracurricular. It's band. They've got a huge show for us planned this halftime. Make sure you're rolling tape for this one, as it'll go in your archive. Put a videotape in. We'll get you the times that this game will be rebroadcast over the next week or so. Midland at its best, and it happens right here, the 24th day of October, 2003. Castle to the air again. He's got another receiver wide open on the far side. This time is Derry. Michael Derry hauls that one in for a first down.
Little timing pattern, doing good.
Yeah, Derry is no stranger to catching balls this year. Caught 11 of Castle's tosses this year for 162 yards, and here it is again.
That should be the record right around there, isn't it?
He's thinking.
Yeah, he's
Enough
got every
pass?
bit of 9
Yeah.
attempts here thus far in the first half.
And you notice it's been really the last two series. He had one or two in some series leading to the first half. He's been primarily an air attack the last two possessions. Hand off to Parmalee. That's going to open some things up. Jalen and a cut back to the left. 15, inside the 15 to about the 11.
Well, I think what we've seen here, Dale and Randy, is right out of the chute, Parmalee up the middle, running the ball. The Chemics made some adjustment defensively. The Chargers countered offensively and went to the air. Now the Chemics start to put a little more emphasis on the pass defense, and then what do? They come right back with Parmalee, and that's what we call that counter. You do something, I'm going to do something different, and it's going to be a chess match throughout the rest of the evening here.
Clock runs, 2:44 to play, first half.
McDowell kind of shadows Parmalee, and he got tied up, you know, watching the receiver get tied
Motion
up
to
a
the
couple
top.
crosses.
Castle Parmalee a fumble.
I don't know who got that.
Chemics
saying
say
they've
we
got
do.
Don't know what's happening at the bottom of that pile.
Chemic football. Chemic football.
I think 70 had his hands on it there for Dow.
Jalen throws his hands in the air coming out of the pile. And it looked like, here's the handoff. It looked like it never happened. Watch the Castle to Parmalee handoff.
Yeah, little quick on the
Parmalee
backside
is
here.
right there. Never made that a complete handoff.
Just hit him in the elbow there, left elbow.
As basic as that seems, that center quarterback exchange, that quarterback to running back exchange, that is a critical thing that you have to get down in the basics. And
Granzo to Parsons. Parsons bursts out of his own end and gives himself some breathing room over the 20 to the 26. Jimmy Parsons, the ball carrier. Jacobs, the tackler.
John Jacobs gets in a lot of tackles. He's there a lot for being like a free safety linebacker. You know, he gets in a lot of tackles. Has a nose for the football.
yeah, we've actually got him listed in here for us as a defensive end, but he's all over.
Ground zone. And handoff coming right smack dab over the middle. 14, your ball carrier for the Chemics.
Mike Christie, Dale.
Granzo to Christie. Christie will pick up a couple of yards.
Yeah, Christie in the halfback position. He's a 6 foot, 195-pound senior. And spelling Jimmy Parsons on occasion to give him a break and doing a nice job.
Clock continues to run, a minute 45.
Quarterback
Granzo
draw.
on the keeper with the draw. He'll pick up about 3 yards. He'll bring up a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. We'll see the mark. Ball at the 30-yard line. Well, you take a look and trailing just by 7. If in fact the half ends that way, the turnovers have been huge against the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Chemic touchdown came on a turnover. The Chargers are marching. They're inside the 20, inside the 15, on the 11. Another turnover turns them away pointless. Jimmy Parsons, and he's hit high, so he keeps running. We've got a flag in behind the play.
Face mask?
I don't know. I didn't say it might be an illegal block against the Chemics away from the ball. Let's see what it is. Parsons
Legal use
bounces.
of hands.
It is. Something in the blocking realm, illegal use of hands being called against the Chemics. Castle.
I think I'd decline it and get the ball back.
You got 54.9. You got about a minute left in the half.
You can't go. The coach can't go out there. They're going to flag him. They give you to the numbers, but I don't think they can do that.
Look at our crowd there, Dale. Nice, beautiful night out here. Not too many folks wrapped up as they typically are this time of year. About 52 degrees at game time. Just a beautiful night here at Midland Community Stadium.
Seats are hard to come by, except right now at halftime. If you're looking for a seat, there's about 450 of them available where the band typically sits. However,
you won't be there long.
You got to learn quickly to play an instrument and then convince the folks that you want one of their capes as soon as the half is done. A gala. You got 225 youngsters from Midland High playing instruments. You got 175 youngsters playing music over at HH Dow. You're going to add the pom-pom, flag, and corps groups that will join them. 450. That's amazing.
Well, I think I would have declined that one. That's just my personal opinion.
I think we're going to have some party.
That one.
It's going to be a low gig. I think you're right, Rand. Well, you got fourth and short, and you're deep enough. Yeah, they're probably not going to just run the clock on you. You got at least a time left. This brings up a 3rd and 15. You're going to give them 2 more plays with 54 seconds. Yeah, you won't get much, but maybe a run back on a punt if you can stop them. Yeah, where were you? 4th and 5. Would have been 4th and 5. On the 25. Yeah, that's it. Next year we're coaching.
Dale, you
It's going to say here. We won't be coaching here.
Said we had about 8,000 people here. You think that counts the 11 people over there on the bleachers along the Midland High side up there at the top?
You know why? They're counting these 3 wise guys right here. 7,997 people except for this end of the press box. We pushed them over 8K. Another record-setting event, guys. Thanks for your help. Dale Robbins, Randy Boynton, Blair Patty, and 8,000 of our friends right here at Midland Community Stadium. City Championship. 9 weeks into this 2003 football campaign. 3 months worth of work, guys, boiling down to tonight for both of these teams. You go back to the late summer days of 2-a-days. Jimmy Parsons gets the carry. Left side is going to bust out. First down. He does. First down, Chemics.
That's a huge play there. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Wilczek tries to do here. It is the first down. Clock is stopped.
Yeah, 35. Here's a
replay.
It'll stay on the ground.
Do you want to just throw one long or no?
No.
Huh?
No.
You got a 7-point lead.
You got
you're
the
on your own
lead.
35, clock's running. Yeah, he's going to spend time.
You got the lead. You're just going to run out the clock for this half. And I mean, if you had 1 or 2 seconds left, you might try some kind of throw. But
Ground zone. On the ground. Parsons. Now, staying on the ground, obviously that's going to probably end the half. You got to remember, fatigue, and the Chargers are starting to hit a little bit. The last possession the Chemics had to get them out of this half and into the next.
Midland took a timeout. Huh.
He's looking to launch it. I'm telling you, it's going down.
They are not going to just let this half just blow by without giving an opportunity for one big play. They've got 1 timeout left. They did use a timeout in the first period with 10:52 10:52 remaining, when it looks like they had a little bit of an offensive miscue in terms of the formation or not the right personnel in. So the Chemics, if they get a big play here, they've got 1 timeout left, and Fedorov, the young man's got a leg.
Well, you know, he's got a couple of 37-yarders to his credit, or he's got a 37-yarder to his credit.
You got something there, Matt, and your Blair, and your stats there? What's his longest?
We don't.
Yeah. What do you want to hear?
I want to know his.
Just write down a number. He'll work it into a sentence.
It was longer than anyone that I could kick. That's for sure, Randy.
And you have to ask that in the form of a question.
Oh.
All right. Like, what is the longest field goal that Fedorov has kicked?
Well, maybe he might have it there. He's got all these great stats.
He did some homework this
Yes,
week.
he does.
You ought to take a lesson from him. If you came with half the stuff Hay-to-Ho comes with, we'd own it. Stays on the ground. Jimmy Parsons, another first down.
The clock will stop to move the chains, and the Chemics look like they're going to try to get up on the ball.
That
Be
gets them to
first down.
their 49, their own. They have a 7-point lead.
No, they're not going to get up on the ball.
Here's a look at it as the clock has started, and if that would have busted for the long gainer, guess what? Timeout. Coach Wilczek's called it. He's got 7.8.
So now he might throw something down there.
Well, if they do throw the ball here, I think that their success is going to come if they roll the quarterback, Matt Gronzo, out. We've seen a lot of pressure on him when he's tried to do the 5-step drop and set in the pocket. They've really put a lot of pressure on him. His success has come when he's rolled out to his right so he can see what's coming toward him and run away from what's coming after him.
That way he can throw it a little better. Run to your right. I think the kid that really threw the ball good was Saginaw High kid. He would run to his left, he'd just flip it out there. It didn't look like no effort. He'd throw it 40 yards. It was pretty amazing to him. Yeah, is he down there?
Probably an 8th grader when Rogers was a senior, eh?
Yeah,
So he just sat back going, boy, if I could throw to a guy like that, I'd throw just like this. And now it does.
Now it does, but
That's cool.
their guys kept dropping the ball.
Gronzo
What do you
sets
think?
in the pocket. Nope, intended receiver who actually was seemed to look like maybe he was trying to come around behind a
Now we got
cahoon.
another flag, pushing and shoving.
That flag on the weather as the rain has begun. It's a rain procedure call in the backfield.
Where did this come from?
Mother Nature copping an attitude. She's going, you know, it's October 24th.
They were pushing and shoving each other a little bit. The
Offsetting
ref
penalty.
tried to stop it, just
The Chargers call timeout, their first of the game.
3.5. Personal foul against the Chargers on Sportsman the Chemic. They will wash. Like as if it never happened. Blair talked about do-overs before.
we're going to do this one over.
Yeah.
Now we got the rain.
And the rains came tumbling. You know, it's just really what you need to add to this mix, though. You got an offensive power, a defensive power. You've got perfect weather. You've got all this at stake. And then you don't have perfect weather. Weather is a part of football. This is a variable we hadn't talked a lot about because it wasn't necessary. Now we can. Is it's sheeting rain.
It's coming down good. I don't think I didn't definitely come ready for rain.
Well, I did because we're in the press box.
I brought the press box
Look at
again.
it come.
Yeah, when in doubt, bring a press box.
Yeah, bring a press box. We are by the thermometer or thermostat. You know, we can turn it up. We start getting a little chill.
If this continues, the one thing I see out there right now is the field looks like it's in pretty good in condition.
Yes.
We between the 40s, it looks we've got a little wear, but this field has great drainage ability. A few years ago, they had a grass disease, and they redid some things, and Chemics are going to keep it on the ground. And it looks like it's
Christie. He's brought down to end the quarter. Jared Schacht will stop it. That clock I'm looking at reads 0.0 after 2 quarters of play. Our score 10-3 in favor of the undefeated Midland Chemics, and vying with 24 minutes left of what could potentially be their 2003 year are the Dow Chargers, and they trail it by 7. Randy, take a look as the teams will wander off into the comfort zone of the locker rooms, or will it be a comfort zone if you're a Dow Charger? What's happening with the coaching staff for Dow and a couple of huge turnovers that gave Midland at this point a lead?
Well, I would think that well, that's the last run of the half there, just to chew up the last 3 seconds. I would think that Dow really isn't all that, you know, they've played good. 2 big mistakes, you know, given Midland the lead, really, you know. And they put the ball up and down the field really nice. I mean, I would think that if I was Midland High, I would be more upset if you had a couple chances to blow the game open and you just penalties. I mean, Blair, you know, how many penalties they got? I mean, they just shoot themselves in the foot. That's just.
Well, it was a big series that led to what could have been a potential score, where they got the kickoff and bounced, partly allowed them to stop. They got the kickoff and then actually penalized themselves out of position and had to take actually didn't even get a chance for the field goal.
Right. Well, I think when the Chemics go into the dressing room here at halftime, I think Coach Wilczek is just going to go wild with respect to the penalties. They've had 7 penalties, not counting the offsetting penalty we just had, not counting the penalty that went out of the football went out of bounds, but 7 penalties actually marched them back or marched the Chargers forward have been critical, and I think Coach Wilczek is going to hammer home. Guys, we've got to pay attention to details. Small things, special teams, turnovers, mistakes will make the winner of this game.
You bet.
As we play here tonight. I think Coach Faust, on the other hand, when he goes in, he's got to go in pretty happy. He's got to go in, guys, we're down 7. We've turned the ball over 3 times. Our defense has done an outstanding job stopping them off 2 of those turnovers. We have got to be able to hold the ball, control the ball, and eliminate the mistakes, and the Chargers have only got 2 penalties. So that's not been an issue. The big issue they've got to overcome is they've got to maintain possession of the ball.
Well, possession is 9/10. And right now, possession of the field belongs to the marching bands. Currently, the County Marching Band. Stick around. They will soon be possessed by the Charger Marching Band. Then they'll do a little game together. And they will fill it from the goal line to the goal line. Midland Community Stadium is our site. Our activity is the city championship. We've got it for you right here on MCTV Channel 3. Sit back. Enjoy it. We've got another 24 minutes of football coming your way. Our score at half, the Chemics 10, the Chargers 3. Have a great halftime, everybody.
And now, the Midland High School fight song.
gentlemen, the Dow High School Band will open their portion of this week's show with Andrew Walder conducting an exciting arrangement of music for the James Bond series of films, James Bond Themes, as arranged by Larry Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, with over 450 performers on the field, the combined Midland High School and Dow High School pom-poms and marching bands will perform the famous hit by Deep Purple, Smoke on Water. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the combined bands welcome their guest conductor for this evening. Mr. James Huber is the music coordinator for the Midland Public Schools. Mr. Huber will direct a piece that has become a favorite of the band programs, Aztec Fire by Jay Bucook. Ladies and gentlemen, the combined Dow High School and Midland High School marching band. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 drawings for this evening's 50-50. We would like to
Thank you, Mr. Granstra. A Bob Granstra production. By the way, by the time this one is...
Hello?
Yeah, we're up. You're up, we're down. Thank you, Bobby, very much. Very much. Modern day technology, we love it. Hey, Bob Granstra is our producer tonight and directing. Bob is a volunteer. By the way, by the time today comes and goes, these guys started about a noon o'clock mark today, the setup. We'll bust out of here. Game will conclude maybe around 10:30. Be here till about midnight, wrapping up cable and putting cameras away and drying off everything that's wet, which at this point is everything. There's about 15 people that do this in a volunteer nature at MCTV Channel 3. This and all of the productions you see on public access are out of the kindness and interests of your community members. So make sure tonight, as the credits roll by at the end of this contest, note who it was that was involved in bringing you yet another city championship here in Midland, Michigan. And they could be, say, home dry.
Boy, Bob Granston's really put together a bunch of volunteers.
Yes, he has.
He's been doing this for about 20 years now.
Yes. Yeah, matter of fact, I think when we first started doing this, it was black and white. With one camera. A little black and blue, as Bob is just saying in our area. But it's absolutely a neat hobby, a neat opportunity, and it's grown bigger and better each and every year. The expectations have grown, and we've hit those marks, as has MCTV, preparing for its growth and the type of technology we can bring to you. Talking about the formation of both bands leaving the field, nothing like we saw planned in the pregame. It was like everybody just ran for the dry spot, didn't they? Or that was kind of an organized, unorganized departure. I liked it.
I think in that situation, if I could play an instrument and I can't even carry a tune in a bucket, I'd want that big old tuba. And then after I get over, I'd put that thing over my head, and I would just have somebody blow on the other end to keep me dry.
That's a good year blip going on right now. There it is, a flyby. Yeah, a flyby.
That's great.
They are up so high it's not even raining where they're at. Huh? Roll tape. That was a shot of earlier tonight, by the way. We were able to capture it. We've done that in the past, and it's actually worked out pretty cool. 10-3, Chemics atop the Chargers. A condition that was not a condition in the first half until the last couple of minutes of play. Let's talk weather, guys. Hey, DeHo, you had mentioned, Blair, about the field condition, and this does drain well. We have got a ton of rain in a short period of time. The track appears to be puddle burden, and these teams, whose game plan does it or does it not affect more?
Well, I think that, Dale, that it will affect possibly the Chargers more because they're the team that throws the ball more. So I think what that's going to do is that's going to force them to run the ball more and go away from some of that balance they have. But I think if you look at the running games, Parmalee is a little bit bigger fella than Jimmy Parsons. He might be able to dig into this turf a little bit more, get a little better grip, because he's heavier, about 45 pounds heavier. I don't know if that's the case or not, but just thinking about it out of the chute, I think we're going to see less passing. We're going to see more of a running game, and it'll be very interesting to see how these teams can dig in and stop the run. I think stopping the run now becomes priority one for each of these defensive units.
Boyd, we saw how turnovers played a role in the second quarter primarily of the first half. What do these conditions now offer some sort of a challenge as far as ball control, and what might you see that you may not have on a drive field with a dry ball?
Well, and I'd have to agree with Blair. You're going to see a lot more running, I believe. You know.
We saw fumbles become an issue towards the end of the half, though, because the Chemics and Chargers were both sticking the ball hard and forcing loose balls that created a couple turnovers and a couple.
The defense is playing well. I think the defenses on both sides have really played well. They've really stuck. I mean, you've seen a couple nice runs by, you know, by star potential players in Parmalee and Jimmy Parsons, and they're there because they can do those type of things. But you know, for the most part, they've been held under check, and the defenses are hitting, and they're trying to tackle the ball, trying to pop them out. I mean, especially if you're behind, you're trying to tackle the ball a little bit more.
Sure.
If you're ahead, you just want to make sure let's get Jalen down before he busts something big. But and it's great. And but I think the passing game will hurt more. Once you get the balls, once you get through the rotation of balls and get them wet and slick, because you got to look, this is the first rain we've had all football season. They haven't played, they haven't practiced, or they haven't did anything in any kind of rain. So I think it makes a lot of difference, and it could be a lot more fumbles.
One of the things I think that'll be a key, and we talked about this before the game amongst ourselves, is the Chargers have seen all types of different situations throughout this year. They've been behind and come back and won. They've been ahead and lost. Excuse me.
But you're right.
Remember years ago, you used to change it. If it started raining like this, you could change your spikes. Yeah. You could go from a half-inch spike to a 3/4-inch spike or something. Put a couple extra deeper spikes in so that you can dig into the ground more. I mean, I think see now they all wear those rubber spikes at the same time, and I think they see a lot more slipping and sliding.
Well, it does change what's going on, the rain, but here's the bright side. In preparation for the postseason, as both teams hope to get there, the Chemics are guaranteed of postseason play. The Chargers need tonight and some things to happen in order to give themselves that. But what we're looking at in another next week, this rain that's tonight could very easily be snow. We're only about 10 degrees away from shoveling this.
Overtime, baby. Overtime.
Boyd's reading plow. The shovel is no longer in his vocabulary. He plows the fine streets of the city of Midland for us, but I'm thinking shovel. I think shovel. So we are got 24 minutes to get this thing done, decided in the books, and to allow this season to move on perhaps for both of these teams, finish for one.
And something I'd like to touch on, I still think Dow, win or lose, win or even lose, they have a good chance. You got to look at who they lost to this year.
Right.
And they still got a point system and stuff. If you're going to lose to an undefeated team, you're going to lose to a Bay City Central team who's going to make the playoffs, and a Bay City Western team who's going to make the playoffs. I mean, you lose to all quality teams. Here's a nice kick. He's letting it go again.
Well, I think we got to stop. The officials were blowing their whistle and waving their hands, so Jalen knew that was a dead ball. Something went awry on the kickoff. I don't know if it was a offsides penalty, it looks like. But
that's the third time on the kickoff you look at Parmalee, you go, get the ball, get the ball. Now the first two you nail it, because he probably tried it, certainly on the one that was at the opposite end. But that one, I think the court balls and the whistles are probably a little damp, so that's why we're not hearing them up here in the booth.
Yeah.
But offside call against the kick team, Chemics, so
we must be down to about 6,000 people in the stands now.
Plenty of seating available for those folks who waited for the second half. If you waited for decent seats, you've got them. Just bring a towel. Probably a squeegee. Absolute 180 from what we started. Now we're underway. Fedorov gets this one away. Parmalee looks into and mishandles at the 10, but captured again. You can see his feet spinning. Now Jalen scoots out over the 25. He'll end up being brought down at about the 30, and a good piece of tackle by number 11, Irvie Ward.
And I always think that when they fumble it and stuff, they seem to have better run backs. You know, I just don't know why they don't hesitate longer, because I think the blocks and stuff get set. See how the blocks get set up? Everyone, you know, because he fumbled it, everyone got to be tied up with who they were supposed to block.
Well, not only that, as a kickoff team, you also have to change. If you're going full out simply to keep the outside contained and you got to beat, that guy fumbles, now all of a sudden you've taken a stutter step and trying to allow to set yourself. Here we go again. Jalen Parmalee over the 50 inside of Kimmick territory to the 46-yard line. A big bust through the middle for Jalen Parmalee.
Yeah, he was brought down by number 6, Jimmy Parsons over there. Sideline. Randy, talking about why you think things open up. Man, I have got a tickle in the throat that won't go away.
Scratch his back, Boyd. See if you can get him here.
Right here. Drink chug. Any more of that?
Now what you'll find is Randy will actually grab all the stats Blair's been keeping and call them his own. Jalen Parmalee, that's the 30, 25, 20, inside the 10, brought down inside the 5 at about the 3-yard line.
Who got that fly?
Number 12 actually makes the saving tackle, Justin Parsons. Justin saves Parmalee on about the 3-yard line, and the Chargers are going
outside action is going. They're going a little bit more outside. The first few plays were busted up the middle. And, you know, now Midland plays that pretty good, but he's busted to the outside where you only have 3 guys to beat.
A 41-yard gain for Jalen Parmalee.
Yeah,
and first and goal on the 4.
Yeah, Michael Rogers is down there making a nice block downfield. You know, 20 yards downfield. That's good hustle.
Pair of setbacks for Castle. Hand off to Parmalee. He dances at the line of scrimmage, gets back to the 5, maybe back to the 4 before he's brought down.
I got to guess that Parmalee's got close to 150 yards rushing already here in this game.
He had a 35-yarder to start the game in his first run. He's got another 42-70. So yeah.
That mathematician, you're going to do my taxes this year like that too, aren't you?
You file a tax report?
Yeah. What are you changing for now, boy? 30 years into workforce, you decide you want to be taxes now.
I want that Social Security now, baby.
Opening drive, second half. The Chargers trail by a touchdown, but
nice block.
Working hard, not for long. They now trail by a point. Jalen Parmalee in a 5-yard dance goes to the zone. So do you defer winning the coin toss? Tonight it paid off. The Chargers deferred, having won the flip to begin the game, took the first possession of the second half, and marched it.
Luke Kosnick just pulled and just opened up the whole outside here. If you're watching number 71 here, he pulls out, you know, watch this swinging gate. But he made a nice block, opened that hole right up for him.
This is Evans going to kick the extra point.
That kick is good. 10. That drive is about a minute and a half long on the clock. We start each quarter with 12. We had 10:34 to play in the third quarter. The Chargers have quickly put a 7 on the board to tie this thing up right back to where we started.
That's a nice one, you know, but some of that field goal, you got 2 good field goal kickers, and you know, with a tight game like this and this rain, that make a difference. You know, you're planting foot and stuff.
That was number 22, Patrick Zupnik, who kicked the extra point for the Chargers to tie this ball game up with 10:34 remaining here in the third quarter.
I'm sure hope this guy moves here so we can see the field here before long.
Yeah, we got us a nice big umbrella right in front of us. And boy, let me up on your shoulder so I can see this action.
Look at this. Put a tap on her.
Better have him trade with the gal that's 2 rows down to the left. She's got a clear one. We can see right through it.
Randy, you had mentioned on the Kimmick's kickoff that Jalen Parmalee bobbled and picked it up and was able to get a good hole up the middle. The reason I think that happens is when the kickoff team sees that ball on the ground, the folks tend to migrate, or they tend to slant in on the ball. And what typically happens is those outside guys lose contain, and you open up something in the middle because everybody is focused on the one area. If he gets one seam to cut through, and that's what Jalen found, was a seam, he got through it and get ball back out to the 35. Here's Justin Parsons.
Justin Parsons.
Yeah, right.
20-25-yard line.
That's a good analogy of that. But every time, I mean, you watch them all the time. When kickoff people fumble them, it just seems like they get nice. There's always a nice run back on them.
Well, I think what happens is people leave their lane responsibilities, and the first priority in the kickoff team is as you are running downfield. And here's the replay. You'll see Justin Parsons is finding a small hole to get up there, and then he's tackled by a whole host of Chargers. But in that kickoff coverage, you maintain your lane and make sure you don't let off backside someone get around you on the backside.
Clean uniform there, Szabinski. Is that how we say that?
That's how you just said it.
Gets that work.
Ball carrier. Stravinsky coming over the left side. Possession, the first one this half for the Chemics.
3 setbacks, the first time we've seen this formation.
Build it up. Bronzo.
Fumble.
Mishandle. Just fall on the ball, boys, if you're a Charger. And they did. Actually tried to pick it up and run it in, and then smartened up on the 15-yard line and fell on it and got possession. Now for Castle and the Charger offense. Well, here's a look at it again. Field conditions an issue? Perhaps they are. A fumble off the handoff.
It was recovered by number 7, Jonathan Sheridan, for the Chargers. Comes out of that melee with the ball, and the Chargers are going to be sitting in pretty good field position. 1st and 10 on the Kimmich 15-yard line.
It continues to rain as it has, with just a couple to play, couple of minutes to play, concluding the first half. Jalen Parmalee stood up at the line of scrimmage, and we'll see what they do as far as giving him.
Stopped by number 16, Brian Leonard.
Giving his forward progress, but he'll get back maybe to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a small loss.
Boy, Brian
loss of 1.
Brian Lerner, as you see right here, comes busting through that line of scrimmage and puts a hit on Jalen and stands him up before he can even get back to the line of scrimmage. Lerner, coming in on the year, 39 tackles, 18 of those solos, has also had 4 fumble recoveries to go along with 6 sacks.
Yeah, Midland needs another turnover here.
Motion to the top.
We talked about how the water or the rain was going to do something.
Castle on the keeper, had the pitch man Parmalee. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe to the 15. And he is brought down by Cahoon. Cahoon wraps him up and throws him down at the 15.
Well, they just...
But that's the 3rd time they've run that option.
And not options.
And not options. And the Chemics have really defensed it very well. The defensive ends, Grillo and Johnson, have done a nice job maintaining contain. Their responsibility on that option and from that end position is to turn that quarterback up into the hole. Then the cornerback is supposed to come up and fill that hole. And I'm sorry,
the corner's coming up and covering Parmalee really good.
Coulter first came up from his
Motion again
cornerback
to the top.
position.
Castle, a flag in the backfield before that play gets going.
Delay a game. That's 2nd or 3rd delay a game tonight.
Second at least, perhaps
These
third.
refs must be pretty quick with the old clock here.
It's
raining
digital.
too.
They've probably gone digital.
Going quick.
3rd and 16. So a 5-yard delay of game penalty. This will push the Chargers out over the 21 at about the 21-yard line. Castle lone setback is Jalen Parmalee. Castle 3-step drop from the shotgun. Got a receiver out there, and it's incomplete.
Nice
Good defense. Michael Rogers, the intended receiver.
Yeah, Jimmy Parsons coming in and doing a very nice job. Good defensive positioning that Parsons had on Rogers. Got the left hand in to break it up. Here it is again. Nice defensive play by Parsons.
Brotherly love. Big brother helping little brother up after a good defensive play. Justin over helping Jimmy to his feet.
You know, they know where each other. They played their whole life. You know,
Could we
three brothers.
Could we
they
be
know where they
seeing
are.
a similarity to what we saw? The Timmons got a big turnover in the second quarter. The Chargers hold them. The Chargers are now 4th and 16 after a turnover.
4th and 16. To the air goes Castle again. He's got a man deep in the corner. Dove, and he had it and he lost it.
That ball was intended for Michael
Rogers, the intended receiver. Boyd says he flagged. I don't know, Boyd.
Never turned his back. He never turned his head.
Rogers had the ball in his hands,
Here's
and we're going to see it here on the replay.
The defense never turned his head. That's face guarding. I think that should be a penalty.
Only if he goes up.
And Parsons is able to get his hands in just at the last minute, just as Rogers makes contact with the ball and knocks it away. And just as the Kimmicks had a big possession on a turnover in the second quarter, the Chargers hold him. The Kimmicks return the favor to the Chargers.
See, that could be wet ball. It slipped out a little bit more.
Well, they actually had it, and he had it off the bobble. Jimmy Parsons, he'll take the handoff over the right side. He'll pick up a yard or two as he works around the right end.
Well, it's in a tie right now. The JVs, they tied up last night, but it was a good, exciting game.
Yeah, on the JV level, though, they do not play the overtime.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen here tonight. We will come away here with someone having more points than the other team.
Officially a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 22. Clock runs 7:35 to play, third quarter.
Just a little crack. He just went through that.
Yeah, he doesn't need much of a hole. When his helmet comes off, he goes, picks it up, put it back on, and let's go back to work, he says. But he just needs a little crack. He's got such good agility, such good visibility that he sees that crack, he gets to it.
A 6-yard gain.
There it is again, as you see.
For Parsons, 3rd and 2.
But they do a lot more trapping Midland High than they ever used to do. They used to cross block or block down. But they trap everybody. Left guard and tackle will both come down to the right side.
Ronzo to Parsons. Parsons again with enough of what he needs for a hold. First down over the 35 to about the 36.
Good run. He knew where the first down was and just, you know, put his head down and make sure you get the first down. That's what you got to do instead of trying to, you know, make that big run when you first down territory. You got to get the first downs.
Got it. The 46 is where the ball will get the mark. Chargers took the opening possession of the second half and picked themselves up 7 points to tie it. They had their opening drive of their first possession in the first half for points, and that's their points. Clock continues to run as Parsons this time tries to go around the left side. Not happening.
Driven out of bounds, Dale, by Jonathan Sheraton and John Jacobs, as you see here on the replay. Gets line of scrimmage is just plugged up. He tries to bounce outside, and nothing there, and there's good contained by the Chargers.
Jacobs and Sheridan close that avenue down for a 5-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 15. Ball on the 41. Just under 6 to play, third quarter. Ronzo, hand off, and Parsons is wrapped up. Jacobs again in on that.
Yeah, that was Pancratz. I'm sorry, not Pancratz, but number 50, Ladd, coming in, making a quick stop. Got great penetration, was in the backfield just about the same time as the quarterback-running back exchange took place.
A 2-yard loss will bring up 3rd and 17.
Pancratz, the defensive captain, getting the call from the sideline. Calling the defensive set. Pancratz in his middle linebacker position. Pretty good linebacker.
Got some clean uniforms coming in here for probably a pass play.
It's Parsons again. They'll stay on the ground.
We'll block him.
Jimmy looking to go wide on the right side. Most of his success has come from that side. Jim is forced to the sidelines. We'll see if it clock continues to run, so he didn't get out of bounds with the ball. So it'll be 4th down, 15-ish, and the Chargers will get the ball back.
I tell you what, fellas, over the next couple years, Pancratz, that middle linebacker position, is a sophomore. Jimmy Parsons at the halfback position for the Kimmicks, a sophomore. Those boys are going to be banging heads a lot over the next couple years.
Yes, they will.
Bradshaw drops back deep and
Nice
nearly
punt.
blocked. A beautiful punt in nasty weather. The Chargers clear the way and not take any chances on that ball touching them and giving it back to the
That was
Chemics.
a good move on their part. Know where the ball is, just get away. You don't have a chance. You're not going to do nothing.
I think all the Chemic fans here tonight and all the Chemic players collectively at the snap and on the punt are holding their breath. And then collectively the Charger fans and Charger players are holding their breath once they see that the punt's off because it is slick out there now.
Taking turns breathing. Castle. He's joined in the backfield by Parmalee. Jalen gets it. He's hit right as he gets the handoff and bounced his
Lucky he
hip.
didn't lose that one.
Sure is.
Looked like John Fillmore might have gotten, or I'm sorry, number 75.
Dornborg say
13.
Joe Grillo making the initial hit.
Dornbors.
Let's get our phonics. Come on, let's get our hooked on phonics.
You can only, boy, you can't say that name 3 times and have it sound different 3 times.
Well,
You
I
got-
get to.
Well, you can't.
Dornbos.
3:45 to play,
Dornbos.
third quarter. Tied at 10. Castle and the Chargers with the ball on their own 39. Parmalee, Jalen gets it, gets a block, and now he slips. Looking for a pair of radials. Got a little skid going on, a little slip, trying to plant, couldn't find it with
Brian Lerner.
rain is steadily falling now for about 45 minutes as it continues to.
Here's the replay.
She's digging for traction there and has none.
Yeah, it is getting slick out there. If you look at the 50-yard line, the yard marker going across the field, you can start to see some small puddles right behind the last Midland High defender there, starting to puddle up a little bit.
3rd and 10.
I
On their
think
own
they're
4.
going to pass it.
Castle looks, it's flush from the pocket, still on his feet. Gonna decide to go, and he's forced out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
We got the yard marker guy.
Well, I sure hope he's got some
Is that Harry?
power, some waterproof pants. No, Harry's on the other side over there. You know
Harry
what,
and
folks?
Kevin Varner?
Yeah. Those folks seeing Harry over there handling that yard marker, just because that yard marker is a little bit crooked, his windows and doors don't go in crooked, folks, let me tell you.
Corey Castle will get rid of it on the 4th and 10. Jimmy Parsons awaits the punt from Castle. Parsons set up at his own 26, 27-yard line. Castle able to get off a good punt. Bounces inside the 20 and out of bounds at about the
Good
13.
punt. Nice punt.
Buries the Chemics deep in their own end.
Holy moly, Dale, you called that one right on the old yard marker there at the end of the yard.
Well, we talked earlier how Midland's defense has really set up their offense a lot all year, and they've played with a long field the whole night long.
Yes, they have.
Dow's really done a nice job on that, keeping it back.
Well, and Coach Faust told us before the game that he wants to keep the Chemics to a long field because a lot of their success has come
On the short
Short
field.
field.
Their special teams have set them up, and they're playing half the distance game
There's
as
a
most
big
others.
ball.
Jimmy Parsons from his own 13. He's out over his 20 to about the 23. It'll be nearly a 10-yard game. We'll get the official mark for you. And get 9 3/4 yards on that run. Boyd gives it to him. The officials, however, will make it 2nd and short. Now, they heard you. They saw you moving forward. The officials have actually gone with the Boyd call and given him the first down.
50 yards away, baby.
2.5 to play, third quarter. Still 10-10 from Midland Community Stadium.
Oh, nice
Jim Parsons
balance.
kept his feet, burst over the 30 to about the 31.
Number 88 for the Chargers, Adam Walser, was in there.
Had his hand on him there at the beginning. I thought he was down.
And the rain continues to come down.
But he's hard to hang on to when it's dry.
Yeah.
There's the old coach, Coach Alumni.
Brazzo hands off. Parsons again being the horse and the carrier for the Chemics. He'll pick up another couple of yards. Not enough for the first. It'll be 3rd and short. We'll say less than a yard. But the ball mark is actually at the 34-yard line. He needs about 24 inches to pick up the first down.
Got a timeout for measurement.
Yeah, that's got to be close there too.
What do you think, Boyne? What do you see down there?
Oh, I think they're short by an inch.
You can't make that call from an inch call up here. Well, you can. I've seen you do it. Never cease to amaze me. An inch, says the point. Oh, man, it's like 3/4 of an inch.
I mean, if it's that close, flip a coin.
Oh, they gave it to him. I should have been right. I should have been right. He didn't take out his credit card.
I actually saw that happen in a high school football game when I lived
Flip a
down
coin for
south.
first down.
Well, not flip a coin, but they actually pulled out a card and put it up against the yardstick to see if it was a first down. It's like, my goodness, just give it to them.
Pair of first downs back to back. Parsons again the ball carrier. He's bent most of the load for this one. Spins and moves, and he'll cut out over the 40 to about the 45-yard line. His own.
You know, the thing that I'm seeing with Jimmy Parsons is he has good anticipation. And if we can, we'll see it right here on the replay. And what I mean by that, he'll make this spin just before the hit. Right here's the spin, and there he goes, gets another 3 yards just by good anticipation.
And that does. It bounces him back to the inside instead of being forced to go to the sideline.
And he's always leaning forward.
Yeah.
It always goes down forward. You know.
Picks up another first down. He does. Ronzo, hand off to Christie in the backfield. Nowhere to go for the youngster. He'll be dropped for a short loss, 2, maybe 3. Bring up 2nd.
You know, we've called Jimmy Parsons' name a lot. Obviously, that's because he's getting the ball and running a lot with it. But the guys making it happen up front, these guys are doing a nice job. We got Kyle Stevenson over at that tackle position, 6'3", 225. Alan Drummond at the guard position, 6'7", 250. And if he wants to come to dinner, he can come to dinner and eat whatever he wants. Then you got Brock Williams, Joe Grillo, and Daryl Vesterfeld in there maintaining the trenches.
A little misdirection play coming back on the other side.
There's 2 1/4 across that line.
Nicholas Butler, the ball carrier.
Festival is 250.
Yeah. You know, you look across that, the 5 main offensive linemen from tackle to tackle. The Chargers, the Chemics, they're probably about 240, 245 average. So on the flip side of that, on the defensive side of the ball, you're probably looking at about an average of 170 pounds for the Chargers. So definitely a little bit of weight mismatch, but I think on the defensive side, you look for that quickness.
On the keeper. Oh, going to be close, probably a first down. Ronzo, the ball carrier. If and the chains move, the clock is stopped at 14 seconds remaining of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Dale, that offensive line for the Chemics and the Chargers have done a tremendous job here springing their workhorses in Parmalee and Parsons to pay dirt here this evening. But getting those big blocks downfield are the key to springboarding that guy for those extra yards. And that usually comes from your ends, you know, the Craig Botts, the Steve Johnsons for the Chemics. Then on the flip side, you've got Michael Rogers and Pete Chu over there doing that work as well. And here goes Christie, loses his footing.
No one touched him there. Just blew out a wheel.
That is going to conclude 36 of 48 minutes of this one. Where we started, nobody leads, nobody trails. 10-10 our score after 3 quarters of play. The weather will continue to be the factor at this point. Dow, the Chargers took the opening drive of the second half rather, marched it about 80 yards down the field and got the extra point to tie this thing up at 10-10, and that is all the scoring we've seen thus far here in the second half. Both coaches agreed that the second half would probably be the half to tell the tale of the tape on this one. as some of the emotion and adrenaline and the flies go away after a couple quarters of play. And at this point, it's settled right into 12 minutes of 3 months of work and preparation. Do you go 9-0? Do you go 8-1? Do you go 6-3? Or do you go 5-4? Are you a city champion? Do you move off to the playoffs? Do you have home field advantage in the first couple of rounds of the playoffs? We're going to tell you in 12 minutes the answer to all of these and probably more questions that paint themselves here on MCTV Channel 3. City Championship football, the Chemics with it. And Jimmy Parsons been written all night long, and he's done another first down inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. We'll mark it.
Pulled down by John Jacobs for the Chargers. We've called Jacobs' name a fair amount or not tonight.
From a defensive end spot, he gets all over the field. I mean, he's always, and he ripped at that
Left
ball
side,
one
right
time.
side, everything, doesn't he?
When they showed that replay, he put a rip on it trying to get that ball to pop out.
You bet. Parsons again. He'll scoot through off the right side and pick himself up a couple, maybe 3 yards on the carry. He's brought down by number 5, Jacobs. Seems to be a familiar.
I tell you the guy on that Chargers defense that I just enthused about, and that's number 25. Little Alex Rodney. I say little. 5'5", 125 pounds. But tell me that a young fellow that size, mixing it up at linebacker, he's got to come with a lot of heart.
Rounds over Parsons.
It's got to be a wrestler.
You know, you see him in the linebacker position, you see him in a corner defensive back position, but 5'5", 125 pounds, getting there and mixing it up with guys 190, 220 pounds, etc. A lot of heart.
Pick up 4 yards on the play. 4.
Parsons with a 4-yard gain brings up 3rd and 4. Ball on the 24 of the Chargers.
What do you think you're going to do here, Boyd?
Going to run her up the middle again. Probably throw them all off if he'd fake it up the middle and pass
Barrett backs Butler and Parsons back, and he's wrapped up. Jim Parsons, just as he took the handoff, met the Charger defense.
Jared Shaw coming in and getting great penetration to make that stop. Shaw from linebacking position there, 5'11", 175-pound junior, getting through and making a big play. Could be big enough that it took the Chemics out of field goal position. Looks like the ball's going to be marked down at about the 27, 28-yard line, which would make it a 45-yard field goal. So actually it looks like it's going to be about a 47-yard field goal.
Federoff's going to come out. They're going to show it anyway.
Instead of ran straight ahead.
49-yard attempt. Ball looks like it's going to be placed down at about.
High snap, handle, placed. Missed it. Fell just shy. Looked like he had the upright split.
No good.
Being a 49-yarder to give the Chemics the lead.
Actually, Dale, I correct ourselves here. It looks like it would have been about a 43-yard attempt, but what a lot of leg. The ball just hooked to the left, and he just missed it.
Well, with the rain and the fuel conditions, we would have called it 49.
You got it.
Add that to difficulties like judging the dive and swimming in the point.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Got to have a little leeway. But, I mean, in high school, you know, you got a kid with a strong enough leg, so you kick it in the end zone, you still get it down to their 20. You know, they don't get it like in the pros where they get it at the spot.
At the mark, right.
So,
right.
So it's just as good as a kick, and you have a chance to get 3 points.
Yeah, you bet. 9:32 to play in this one. 1st and 10. Corey Castle, Jalen Parmalee, and the Chargers bringing it right to left.
I thought Jalen was really making it more on outside the tackle. You know, I don't think there's much right up there in the middle.
Well,
I mean, you have Lerner shadowing him, and then you got all your grub people right there.
Well, they've sprung him loose a couple times running, you know, between the guard and tackle, and the Chemics make some adjustments. Maybe they're grubbing, maybe they're pinching, they're slanting inward.
Well, the first possession of this half, he had a couple good licks right off center.
And you can see that their two defensive tackles are over the nose guard. Now they shift out of it. Grub.
Parmalee. Same spot that wasn't there before. Didn't grow this time. Another couple yard gain. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Ball at the 25.
But you gotta run them. You gotta ride them out. I mean, because it only takes break a little bit right now, and someone slips and misses an assignment, he's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Dance with who brought you.
Unless, of course, you're in high school now, then they. You ever been to one of those dances?
Miss Sadie Hawkins.
Not in a long time, boy.
Wait till your kids get big.
Castle, 3-step drop, looks, got man crossing, and does. 40-45, and a completed pass to Michael Rogers, and the Chargers, big first down, give themselves some breathing room, and moving the ball with 8 to play here in the quarter.
Yeah, that was
the game.
That was a big play. Again,
nice throw.
Again, Castle is getting time to throw.
Has all night.
And he's getting a chance to see it, as you see here. And then Rogers coming in.
And that's one thing with the grubbers. If you're down there, it's tough to get a pass rush because you're kind of down on the ground.
Michael Rogers, an outstanding receiver, having caught 20 balls coming into today's game.
Spins. He dropped for about a 2-yard loss.
Coulter first in on that tackle, Dale, and David Johnson.
Yeah, and I think he's getting some good balls. He's had all year long, but where was Ken Spencer, who's the other end for him? They were throwing a lot to him too.
Loss of a yard for Parmalee. 2nd and 11, ball on the 45. Clock runs now, 7:10 to play in this one. Motion goes to the top. Castle shows the pitch again, keeps it on the option, turns it up, and inside the 48, a flag on the play, right at the point of the tackle. Usually
helmet.
It is a hold. Offensive. That'll back it up.
That's it. Yeah, he threw it down pretty decisively.
Yes, he did.
I didn't really see it, but we didn't look at the replay quick enough either.
Yeah, it looked like it was right at so it might have been something just behind Castle as he cleared the line of scrimmage, because
that's big. Instead of being 3rd and 5, it's now 2nd and about 17.
Right.
Yeah, that hurt.
Second and long. Watch for Rogers. He's at the top of the screen. Castle hooked up a couple of different times. Castle with time again. Pocket kind of erodes, and now he's going to go to the wheel. Chase down, and that was a good play.
That was
Number
outstanding.
63, Benjamin Lernier, brings him down. You would have thought maybe he's going to be outrun. Ain't going to happen.
And that's Lerner from a middle linebacker position, getting over there and running him down.
He was kind of watching Parmalee, and then once Castle made his break, he went after him.
Ben Lerner is no stranger to tackles. 69 tackles, Dale and Randy, coming in on the year.
That's a lot. That's getting in there quite a few.
A 4-yard loss brings up 3rd and longer than it was. 3rd and 20 on the 36. Clock runs now. Half the 4th quarter is in the books. 6 minutes to play in this one. Regulation. Tied at 10. Handed off at the helmet, and Jalen Parmalee does all he can to rescue that ball from the top of his face mask and tuck it in before he's popped. Then he grabs a couple of yards, gain on it.
Well, earlier in the 3rd quarter, the Chemics had to punt from this end of the field, and I don't think right now, there's no win, it's not an issue, but this end of the field has the most wear on it, and where Corey is going to set up looks like it might be the muddiest part on the field right now. So the Charger faithful holding their breath now. Once the kick gets off, will the Chemic faithful be holding their breath?
Castle to Parsons. Kick is away. A high floater. Jimmy Parsons awaits it, and he'll back off as it rolls out of bounds at the 20, and that's where the Chemics will take over.
Yeah.
Good move.
Smart move, getting out of the way. That was an outstanding punt by Castle. And he's limping a little bit coming off the field. That one.
I just think that you're back there kicking, you're the athlete, but but kicking and pulling up that leg, it's cold and wet, pull that hamstring, hurt that thigh.
Ronzo to Parsons. 21, 22, 23, gain of a couple, maybe 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. Shock in on the stop, as well as Dunn again.
Need a big gainer here to get down there.
Done a dozen times, at least. Clock continues to run, becoming an issue. Maybe inside of 5 to play. 4:38. Ronzo, slow set is Parsons. He'll get the handoff over the left side, out over the 30 to maybe the 31, and near a first down.
He does that little spin right at the end, right when he gets hit.
Yeah, and with the field conditions the way they are, the Chargers are really basically putting 9 in the box. Got 2 DBs back just in case the Chemics come out and spring a pass on them. But really 9 in the box. 4 down linemen. Your 2 corners are real close to the linemen and trying to make it real tough for the Chemics to run the ball.
Big 3rd down. It's 3rd and short. 3rd and 1. Ball is on the 30. Clock inside of 4 to play. A keeper by Ronzo, and he will. He'll move it over the line of scrimmage, a gain of about 3, and it'll be first down territory and move the chains.
Good push by Midland's offensive line there.
Well, their offensive line, they had about 3 or 4 guys that were about 5 or 6 yards in front of him pushing, and while Ronzo was being pulled down.
Left in the mud.
You get the glory, you figure this one out on yourself here.
You clear from there, we'll make you path up here. Trailblazing. 3:30 to play.
They're mudding and grubbing out there now, boys.
Keep in mind, they're looking maybe for 30 or 40 yards. They've got Fedorov, who just missed a 43-yard attempt moments ago. Blind side, fumble.
I think the official called incomplete pass.
In motion.
Wow.
And the home side of Midland Stadium all of a sudden woke up.
Take off my
Now,
blue
one
shirt
of them
right
in
now.
front of me agree with that call.
Yeah, and you know what, Dale? I think the Chemics caught a break there.
Well, his arm would go forward. I think you're right.
I think it was. I think it was a rubber band rebound action from having been popped so hard. If you guys got that again, let's see it again. I think he had it resting at his hip. Well, and the official makes the call from behind. He's actually from the rushing side to make that call. 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 34. Ronzo hands off. Harden over the side, and ball runner was Butler. Nicholas Butler works off the left side. He'll pick up about 5 yards.
Number 32, Jared Schaff on the tackle for the Chargers.
3rd and 6 officially. Catching a break if you're a Chemic, maybe. Not getting it if you're a Charger, perhaps. Same game we started.
Yeah,
There's
we've
a
got
flag.
legal procedure on the...
Let's take a look at it again. This is was his arm in a forward motion at the time of right? No, I don't know.
He
I
was
don't think
getting
so.
ready to, but I don't know.
It didn't appear that way. But again, in fairness to the official, he is behind that call. And when he saw Gonzo's arm come forward after the hit, that's perhaps what he saw when the ball spit out frontwards. Good play for the young quarterback for the Chemics to give that impression. 3rd and 11. Again, blind side. Got some room to run. He's going to have to tuck it in, and does. He's forced up before he gets to the 40 at about the 38. Good pursuit again on the part of Jacobs, who made the big hit previously. In pursuit that time as well from number 60, John Stenke. And Stenke forces Ronzo out. Here's a look at it again.
They haven't really covered up that backside. They haven't come out and blocked him on the backside of him all night long.
I tell you what, guys, we said earlier in the pregame that special teams are going to be a key in turnovers and mistakes.
Brockwell had a short snap, but he's not going to get out. He's going to fall, and it's Charger football at the Chemic 15. 2 minutes, 16 seconds to play in this one. Mother Nature has made an impression on this second half of football at Midland Community Stadium. Bad snap, mishandled. Simply to cover it was Brown and keep it from being ran in completely by the Chargers, and the Chargers will get the ball at the 15. 10-10 our score.
Yeah, I was watching the center, and it looked like he just tried to aim at that time instead of throwing it back there.
The snap really never got off the ground.
Yeah, no, he just tried to aim it.
Lone setback is Parmalee. Castle to Parmalee. He high steps, still kicking. 10, 5, spin it down to the 2. Jalen Parmalee will pick up a first down and goal to go from the 2-yard line.
You know, it's one of these situations now. They haven't stopped. Here's the replay.
Yep,
just driving those legs, Jalen Parmalee is. That great second effort brings him down the 1-yard line. But it's about one of those situations now where you almost would want to let the Chargers score so you can get the ball back and at least have some time to try to do something.
Inside of 2 to play. Corey Castle. Good penetration by the Chemics. Stopped maybe a 2-yard loss back inside the 5-yard line for Jalen Parmalee. Good interior bust for that Chemic defensive line.
Or if you can get that kind of pursuit on every play, maybe you don't want to let him score right now.
Let's tell you this, you go back to Saginaw High a week ago and to win. The Chemics actually came up huge late in the game to keep that game in the win column by making some stops in the red zone that could have led, and the Chemics have done it there again. It's going to be second. That was a 3-yard loss. It'll be second and goal from the 5.
Well, like on the defensive side, you know, like all the quarterbacks would come up and go ready, set, hot 1, hot 2, and then they're going on 1. You know, you're going to guess more if they're not going to try to go second go or anything this close to the goal line. So you can go up there as a defensive lineman and stuff. You can take a chance and try to guess the count, because the offense doesn't want to do it and get 5-yard penalty to move backward down. They went across. They almost had the handoff.
You're right.
I'll tell you right here, I think you just got to keep feeding your big horse in Jalen.
Oh, yeah.
Parmalee gets a hand up. Touchdown! And he's running to family video.
Just straight up the middle. Just blew right through the whole defensive line and was in the paved dirt in no time.
1 minute, 24 seconds left in regulation, and the Chargers have done what they haven't had since the first quarter, and that's they've gotten the lead. They scored on the opening possession they had in the game with a field goal. They scored on their opening possession in the second half to give them 10. They now, with a minute 24 left in this regulation contest, have a touchdown and an extra point. 17-10, the Chargers atop the undefeated and Saginaw Valley League co-champ potential Chemics. In a minute 24 might be the difference in sharing that crown or owning that crown for these Chemics who are 8-0.
And our folks probably couldn't have seen it on the TV, but who is Coach Faust congratulating first? His offensive line. Going over and congratulating his offensive line first for the outstanding job they did in getting that initial push to free up Jalen.
And in fairness, having been on the field before the game, those 3 of those guys are bigger than Coach Faust. So he's got to say he's out of them because they're bigger than what he is.
From tackle to tackle, they go 286, 270, 265, 234, and 290.
Yeah.
It's like, what don't those fellas eat?
Hey, grab a pen and pencil, and I will be reading off our rebroadcast time of tonight's championship game here on MCTV Channel 3. I'll have it for you, and Midland's airwaves will be full of it at least on these dates, if not beyond. A good game, a great game. And we've got some times coming your way. 1 minute, 24 seconds, 84 ticks remain on the game clock. 17-10 is our score. And this has been about 3 types of games in one. We've seen good weather, we've seen tough defense, we've seen turnovers, we've seen rain, we've seen everything but what the next minute 24 is going to bring us. Picked up and handled at about the 25-yard line. Nice burst. Keith Stravinsky picks it off. He's the second line of offense, positioned down about the 20. And Stravinsky brings the Chemics for their last possession, maybe, of this one out to the 40-yard line.
And the Chemics are starting with a short field with 1:19 to go. They've got all 3 of their timeouts left. It'll be interesting to see what type of offensive scheme Coach Wilczek wants to implement here. It looks like shotgun formation. First time we've seen this.
It is. Gronzo goes to the air. A floater, but it's brought down and caught inside Charger territory.
Oh, way to go,
30-yard line. Still not being brought down. Holy cow, Matt Brown just said, nope, not today. I got about 25 more yards to gain after the catch. Matt Brown has just turned in a short flare of about a 7-yard pass into a huge gain down to the Charger 20. Here it is for you. He is dragging them across the gridiron.
Now you're close enough you can take shots in the end zone.
Well, there's still time, okay? You run the ball outside to the short side of the field to use the sideline to help you stop the clock. They've got 2 timeouts left, 1:08 to go. Really plenty of time, especially if they can get a first down, because in high school football, that stops the clock until the down marker is reset.
Well, you know, you take a look at a lot of, and you don't run into a lot of undefeated teams in any particular sport. I mean, to do that is extremely difficult based on the odds of getting it done, especially in a league like Saginaw Valley, regardless. What do you learn to be 8-0? How deep do you go? What kind of diversity do you have? What kind of challenges have you faced to get here? Well, you had a minute 24 to go and you trail by 7. All of a sudden you hadn't mustered any offense the whole second half and you're knocking on the door.
And this is not what you wanted to do.
Charger defense steps up. Clock runs inside of a minute at 58, 57, 56. Dropped for a loss is Gronzo. Bring up second down. Ball now on the 31-yard line. A loss of 5, call it 2nd and 15. 40 seconds to play. They trail by 7 to these undefeated Chemics. Motion Cahoon comes this way. Fake to Parsons. Gronzo to the air.
Bounced.
We've
got to get a
got
timeout.
one official calling it a catch. The other one did not. Clock stops. Officials have stopped it. Timeout Chemics. 25.3 remain. Here's a look at it. Did it bounce? Nope. They're going to call it a complete pass. Not going to tell by that replay, but it was, if so, it was a great catch because it was just off the top of the grass where Gronzo had thrown it. Let me give this to you. Here on MCTV, this city championship, regardless who wins the darn thing, it's been a great game. We hope you go out and buy $1.50 VHS tape and keep this on your bookshelf for the rest of ever. Good ball games. Friday, October 24th. That is today, by the way. We're doing this at midnight here on MCTV. Saturday, October 25th, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. This game will be rebroadcast. Sunday, the 26th of October, noon and midnight. Monday, November 6th, 7 a.m. and 12:30 a.m. on Monday the 6th. I can check that date for you. Gronzo to the air, a duck. Incomplete pass, and I'm just thinking right now, you probably wanted to knock it away anyway. Ken Spencer had it, didn't hang on to it, and dropped it, and that'll just simply be Chemic ball again.
And the intended receiver, Cahoon, turns into defensive back on that play.
Here it is. Gronzo, tough ball to throw in the weather. And you're right, Cahoon did get a hand in on it as Spencer came down.
So all you need is the first down here. You just need 10 yards.
They need to get down.
Get a couple more shots at the end zone here.
For the first down, they need to get down to about the 14-yard line. They are on the 25 is where the ball rests. Gronzo again.
Got him.
There it is.
And makes the catch.
It's caught, and I think it was Parsons out of the backfield that caught it.
I think it was Cahoon, Dale.
Oh my God. Nice catch.
Clock stops, 10.7. Timeout, Chemics. See it again.
Watch it.
There he is.
He tipped it with one hand. That's what
That
he
man
did.
cleared it. Was it Cahoon?
It looks like Cahoon. That was an
Caught it with one hand.
outstanding.
I thought it was going back to Parson, but he tipped it to himself and come up catching it.
Can it get any better than this? 10.7 to go. Ball resting on the 10-yard line. Chemics out of timeouts.
Get 2 shots. You should be able to do 2, maybe 3.
If they get out of bounds.
Well, you got to throw it in the end zone now. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know if you can afford to. You're not going to get the chains to move.
Right. I think if they don't throw the ball, you've got to run something that springs them to the outside to get him out of bounds.
And if you're the Chargers, you're pressing to keep them in. You're not letting them get to the sideline. So do you pinch the ends? We are going to find out right now. It doesn't matter what we've just discussed because it means absolutely nothing.
We didn't make
These clubs have brought it to the table and given us a great opportunity to watch Class A high school football. Bronzo, everything's covered. He's back to the center, looking for corner. He's stopped and popped at about the 3-yard line. Does he go up 2.7? He must have gotten to the sideline. Inside the 5, let's say the 3. Parmalee gets up. He's holding his hip. He's in on it defensively to make that stop.
I give the ball to Jimmy Parsons. You give the ball to Jimmy Parsons on this one.
Let's take a look at that again. Bronzo looking for something to happen. Nothing, so he scampers. Chargers, pow. Second down and 3. And the Chargers, H.H. Dow wants to discuss what 2.7 means to their season.
They got to figure out what they think they're going to do.
You're one play from a win,
Or
you're one play potentially from a tie if you convert the extra point.
What did he say earlier, that he's 3 or 4 plays away from being...
He's 3 plays away from being undefeated.
Yeah.
Are these Chargers?
Yeah.
3 plays away, and they, of course, have 3 losses.
Yep, they're 1 play away from being city champs. The Chemics are 1 play away from going undefeated in the regular season.
Wow. Sounds like a book. You couldn't have wrote it better than this. Sounds like a movie.
Well, you can see the Chemics are huddled around Coach Wilczek and the rest of the staff there talking about what they're going to do from an offensive perspective. Chargers over on this side huddled around Coach Phil Liga trying to figure out what they're going to do from a defensive perspective. We've countered, we've moved, we've countered a counter, and we've done 180s, we've done 360s. We've been all over the place tonight. What is it going to be here? It's 1 play, and this game's over, or potentially 1 play from sending this game into overtime if the extra point is converted.
Lone setback for the Chemics. Jimmy Parsons, he'll get it, sidesteps, picks up his man, carries him to the end zone.
Good call, Blair.
Just a great second effort.
Midland Chemics have drawn within 1.
Great second effort, and some of the fans for the Chargers are streaming onto the field, but they didn't realize.
Here's a look at it. Parsons is actually hit at the 2. He picks up the linebacker and carries him to the end zone.
Yes,
off his shoulders. And Randy, you said it earlier in the game. He's leaning forward. He's going forward with his body. His momentum and his feet are always carrying him forward. Jimmy Parsons that time gets stuck at the 2, literally leads forward into the linebacker and takes him into the end zone to tie or actually bring this thing within a point.
Within a point. Big extra point here.
Well, that's it. Unplug everything. There's no time left. Well, no way. You got overtime if the point's good. Or do you go for 2? Now you go for the tie and hope that overtime.
No, absolutely not here. Not with the type of kicker you've got in Fedorov. I guess the only reason, Dale, you would think about that is we saw the challenge they had on the snap for the punt. But Fedorov, if you get the ball down, the young man has had an outstanding year. 27 extra points, and we said earlier, dance with who brought you. So you've got to get that center to hold their exchange properly. and then let Federoff do what he's done all year.
Well, I actually said that knowing that they were going to go for the extra point. I just knew we had about 48 seconds to kill, so I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay.
Well, does it go for 2 or what? So just conversing here and making some. Jason Parsons will be the holder. Brendan Federoff for the extra point. Snap is good. Hold is down, and 17-17.
Good game.
Brendan Federoff.
Nice job by Jason Parsons. I mean,
Justin. That was Justin holding the ball.
Justin picking the ball, you know. And it's a tough thing to do to get the ball and put it down there. I mean, the ball's all over.
The snap was actually beside and behind him. And he brought it back and got the place down. No matter how fast they run, how far they go, you will not dry that flag out tonight. He's been rated for an hour and a half. Hard.
There it is. See, it's behind him, comes back. Nice job of setting the ball.
I don't know about you guys, but this is one of the most exciting high school games I've seen in a long, long time. I've even got the butterflies and the old excitement bug going up in here.
I still would have liked to have been to the one where they used a playing card to determine it was a first down or not. That for me. You ever been to one of them boys?
No.
There's only one guy in this press box
Yes,
been to that
sir.
game.
And that's the way we measure first downs down in Hillbilly Land. And that was after a barbecue sandwich and some pig chitlins.
Oh, Bob Granstra, you bring us out and we have the most fun under your realm. Bob is producing this along with 15 volunteers at least. Got a full day working just to bring this one to you. Dale Robbins along with Blair Patty and Randy Boynton. Absolute pleasure to be here with you on this one.
I just hope they got extra tape in the truck, though, so when they start recording this, they can get the extra time on it, Dale.
Start another deck. This game started straight up at 7:30, and we are looking, it's about 2 minutes to 10 p.m.
Bob, if you want us to run out on the field and hold the officials while you run over to Family Video and get a spare tape to finish this up, you let us know.
Got to cross Washington. Watch for traffic. It's wet and you're hard to see.
Well, there's a lot of cars out there parked on Washington Street trying to catch a glimpse of this game from the dry, warm.
How big is this flip? Do you want second possession, or you actually alternate that? Do you not?
No,
do you want second try, first try?
You want second try.
I think you want the second possession.
Because then you know what you have to do.
Then that way, if you hold them, then when you get the ball, on third down, you can go for a field goal to win it. Because if you have a bad snap, that gives you a second opportunity to do that.
Talking to the Chargers.
They start at the 25 or the 10?
20, I thought. Now it looks like the Chargers.
They're going to go that way.
Well, we're trying to figure it out, folks.
But I think you're in a better position to get the ball second.
We're gonna rely on Ron Wilt, our PA man, year after year. Ron's gonna give us the hey. We'll let you decide.
Well, we still don't know for sure what's going on here, other than we got a little bit more football to play.
I think Dow's getting the ball first.
I see Michael Rogers out there, but
Here we go.
The ball will be placed on the 10-yard line, and then the team will have 4 chances, and then the other team will make a goal.
From the 10, it's not the 20, not the 25. Split the difference, add 5, subtract 4. It's 10-yard line.
I know I want
Is
you
where
to
we're
do
going
my
to start this.
taxes. I know.
4 plays to go 10.
Please repeat that so I can do that on my slide rule.
No.
Can you help me with the decimal point here, please?
I always bring my advocates to these games because once overtime gets here, there's a lot of math that gets involved. It's a game of inches, but it's a game of math. The Charger offense take it with the first offense. The win of the flip did in fact go to the Chemics. They decided to take the ball secondly. The Chargers with it. Castle and a pair of setbacks. Parmalee, Jalen, he stood up at the 10, back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, the one thing we don't have to worry about now, Dell and Randy, is the clock.
It's off.
The clock is off.
Out of habit, I might continue to reel off. We've got 0.0 left in this one.
but we're still playing. So.
It is our first overtime.
Yeah, ever here for this one, for any of our games, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think we've had some away in some of the regional games. It seems like we've done some of this, north and maybe south. Castle again, the lone setback is Parmalee this time. He's going to look to go to the air, looks to the air, has Rogers open down around the 5, and he's forced back out to around the 7. They'll give him progress and probably mark the ball.
You know what? From this vantage point here, it looks like he caught the ball inside the 5, but he was actually driven back, and they're marking his progress of where he went out of bounds. So,
wow. And it's a 6, so the difference was a yard. 3rd and 6.
Close.
Yeah, there'd be some tired, wet, out of juice grubbers tonight at the end of this one. Corey Castle with the snap, 3-step drop.
Oh, that could be interference.
Not going to get the call.
No, close.
Same time,
maybe.
intended receiver was Andrew White. And White up to it again. That's a 4, not a 1. So intended receiver was Derry.
Kind of uncatchable here. The ball's up above his head.
it looks like Coach Faust has opted to go for the field goal here with Michael Rogers.
Rogers will get it away. White will hold.
You got to get points. If you're first, you got to put points, so you at least put pressure on the other team to get points. Looking for a dry spot, Michael is, kind of a spot where he thinks he can get
The spot will
footing.
be at about the 14. This will make it a 24-yarder. And it is on the left hash. Snap is down, White in a good hole. Up and good. Michael Rogers moves the Chargers out in the first overtime by a score of 20-17. Now the Chemics, who won the overtime flip of the coin, have their shot at it.
And this gives you, this gives you a chance. You know what you got to do. So if it comes down to 3rd down and you're a Chemic, and you're a long ways away, you make sure you run the ball to the middle of the goalpost so that you got an easy field goal.
Sure.
I think it'll depend on where you're at in the field position. If it's 3rd down and you're at the 10-yard line, they may even opt to go for the field goal at that point for the reason we talked about earlier in case we get a bad snap. I got to think that the Chemics' strategy here is going to be run Parsons, run Parsons, run Parsons.
Well, you remember with no time on the clock, it got him the tie to begin with in regulation. 2.7. Jim took the handoff, as he will right now, and he skirts to the right a half a step and gets himself down to the 5.
That little guy just squirts through the smallest of opening, and he keeps driving. He's just like a little water bug that zips in and out, finds an opening, and he goes.
He hopped 2 yards in one leg.
Came up with a little hitch in his giddy up, but the Chargers want timeout now to assess the 2nd and 4.
I think you get a timeout in overtime.
I think each team gets a timeout.
Gets one timeout.
Well, Dale, Randy, it's coming down to be everything we expected it to be coming in. We talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, you've got the #1 offense against the #2 defense.
That's correct.
And Randy took all my stats, and I'm like really struggling here.
You had that tickle in your throat.
Yeah. Oh boy.
He jumped right in your chair.
That did go away, by golly. The #1 Dow Charger offense against the #2 defense. The #1 rush defense in Midland High against the #2 run offense in Dow High. The #1 scoring offense in Dow High versus the #1 scoring defense in Midland High. Something's got to give. What's got to give? Not a whole lot, but something's got to give.
20-17 in our first overtime. The Chemics trailing by that first overtime score, the 24-yard field goal by Rogers for the Chargers. 2nd and 4.
Well, they really stacked her up on the inside now. They're not going to let Jimmy Parsons run the ball.
And Parsons has hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and short, 3rd and goal anyway.
What the Chemics
We'll say
cannot
3.
afford to do here is to get a penalty. They cannot get an illegal procedure. They cannot get a delay of game, and that is starting to concern me from this vantage point because Gronzo is still over talking to the coaches on the sideline. That delay of game clock is still running, so you get 25 seconds to get that play off.
Play is in, quick huddle, and it's called, and the Chemics will take their overtime timeout. You're right. They can feel that window closing as well.
Boy, this is fun.
It's just too bad it started raining because a lot of the crowd left. But like I said, they'll be watching us now.
There's still a lot of people here, and just a testament to the commitment these people have to their sons that are out there playing, to their sons and daughters in the band, to the community, to the school. So,
well, you know what it does, and it's a kudos as well. I think it shows the continued support that this community, whether whether you're Midland or Dow, or you have no kids that even go to school or haven't went or you moved in, this community continues to support successful programs, and both of these schools in the city of Midland continue to do academic and scholastic and exemplary programs in the community. By tonight, as an example, show their support of the Midland Public Schools system as a whole, the athletes and the students and the academics and the experiences these young people get. Another fine example. This one is Christie, and guess what? Kept it. Touchdown.
3 setbacks, fake to Parsons going right. Gronzo bootlegs it all the way around to the left for the 3-yard touchdown, and the Chemics have taken the lead and won the ball game.
You are watching an undefeated dance in the end zone, 9-0. The Saginaw Valley League champion Chemics.
Yes, that was a great little sneak play there at full house. They tried it a couple times earlier, and they fumbled it on a couple, but you would think that, they're going to come right here and they're going to follow it.
9 years ago, in 1994, this Chemics school went undefeated. 9 years later, under Coach Terry Wilczek, the Chemics have done it again in what is the oldest known league in the state of Michigan in high school athletics, established back in around 1904, believed to be the oldest league, still up and running, is the Saginaw Valley League. And in the year 2003, it's not an easy league to walk through and come away without a loss, but folks, you've seen it. The Midland Chemics have put an exclamation point on a regular season. Here's the replay for you. Gronzo drove the stack, showed it to Christie, kept it, and scrambled and got it. Scrambled and got it.
Very gutsy, but you have a chance to do that with getting the ball second time.
Boy, I tell you what, the Chemics have got to be elated to come out of here with a win. They knew they were going to the playoffs coming into tonight's game, but they just solidified their position on the Saginaw Valley League this year. But boy, when I look down there at that Dow High School team, I look and say they were 3 plays away from being undefeated coming into tonight's game. They were another play away from being undefeated again tonight if you take all those other 3 games and make the results differently. I really hope that Coach Faust and the team that he's put together this year implemented his new system, had to get some folks to buy into it. I hope that they get that break that they so deserve and get into the playoffs, and they're playing football next week.
Well, keep in mind the announcement for the playoff and the fields and the locations is going to be announced on October 26th. That takes place on Sunday. And the Selection Sunday show is being held on Fox Sports Net. That show begins at 5:30. The playoff field announcements will be posted on the MHS website at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Keep an eye for Chris Stevens and his staff with the Midland Daily News, Gary Williams and the guys over at MPX and MRX. They will continue to keep you updated on what lies in store, not only for the undefeated Saginaw Valley League champion Chemics, but herein lies, and Randy brought it up earlier, you're at 5-4, but you played in a league that's probably got 6, 6 of the 11, 6 of the 12 that are going to the playoffs. So where does having lost in close games to those do the Dark Chargers fall? So once again, postseason, baby, Midland, Michigan. Here we go. The dance has begun.
There's some of our volunteer staff here going by here right now. But I would think that Dow still has a great chance of getting in the playoffs. You know, I would just think with 5-4 record with that, and losing to Midland, and losing to Bay City Central and Bay City Western there, that, you know, they've played some tough teams, and those guys are all battling, and Central and Western's playing tonight to see who goes to the playoffs with those guys.
Yep. We are about ready to unplug this thing. It has been, as always, an absolute pleasure. Bob Grandstrom, thanks so much for your hard work and effort. You've done it again. All the folks' names who you saw pass by here moments ago couldn't have happened without them, and never would and never will. So thanks to everybody part of MCTV, whether you were paid staff or not, those who volunteer and those who make it look right. I appreciate everybody's helping hands on this effort. For my partners, Randy Boynton and Blair Patty, my name is Dale Robbins. Our final score, the champion of Midland, Michigan for 2003, the champion of the Saginaw Valley League 2003, your Midland Chemics, as they come away an overtime winner by the score of 23-20. That's it from Midland Community Stadium. Have a great change in seasons, everyone. Bye-bye.